Yeah. Big O, we told you we ain't playing no games, man. It's yours truly, probably Pablo. Culture, Lord Productions.
Good morning, South Florida.
This is the Big O Show.
You're tuned into the Big O Show.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. Yo, you tuned in to the hottest sports radio show with Orlando, a.k.a. the Big O. He covers all the South Florida teams, from the Dolphins to the Heat, well, you know what I mean. Monday to Friday, Friday Pablo in the Big O Show. Oh, on the radio, the top's where we gonna go. Miami, that's the way we roll. Locked on the morning show, we go. No one has a similar show. Talk sports, talk plays, talk live and direct. Because nobody do it better than Big O in the set. From sunrise, listen live, it's the best of the best. He's got the fans, got the heat, he's the best of the best. Big O, the only talking sports with a style. Break it on in, it's Big O-N. Thank you for tuning in, keeping you glued in. Stay tuned, because right here's where the woman's in. Same place, because right here some of them begin. Simply call and just state your opinion. Real talk, sports talks, the Big O Show. Yeah, you love it, yeah, you like it, call him and let him know. Coach and probably Pablo, you know, now introducing the man of the hour. Big O, a.k.a. Orlando also Gary.
Adebayo and one. And Andre Iguodala coming into the ball game along with Kelly Olynyk for the Heat. Nice speed inside. This time, Adebayo able to catch. There's Dragic with the floater in the paint that goes. Seeing a lot of that here from the Heat in the first half. Inside, Dragic back quickly at the other end. 40 to go. Dragic downhill. And Dragic with a fortuitous roll. Butler in transition. Back to the shooter. Robinson got a great look. Butler with another opportunity. He'll try it twice, and the second one falls.
But they are not going away. This is a tough, competitive bunch from Miami.
In a blink, they can take the lead. Butler inside, counted and one. Butler scored the last 5, but Crowder has an open look here. And the Miami Heat leading by 3 with 3:42 to go. Miami's 12 of 16 here in the second quarter. Butler, Adebayo, free throw line jumper, got it.
Boston has done nothing to disrupt.
With the offensive carom, back out to Hero. Heat leading by 3. Wide open, Jake Crowder, bingo. Boy, nice speed inside. They found the mismatch. Adebayo showing off his passing skills.
Vision to find that cutter.
Then Marcus Smart switched onto him. They got a mismatch there. Dragic with a nice show and go and layup. It's tough to guard people enough right now. Here's the 3-on-2 coming back the other way. Hero over Dragic for the layup, and the lead is back under double figures to 8 for Miami. And inside easily, Crowder. Dragic has been great for Miami, pushing tempo. Robinson finally gets another one to go. And Duncan Robinson hits the 3 to make it a 6-point game. Dragic with a little acceleration to pull away makes it a 6-point game. Miami has numbers if they want it now. Bam, great spin move, and says it with his chest inside. Dragic back out to Crowder. Great look to Butler inside, and Butler's got 14. Dragic back to Butler. Hero wide open. Butter. And the lead is down to 3. Hero for 3. Yes!
This guy.
Right back at him, and the lead is down to 2. Dragic on the drive. Butler 3 on the way. Got it! Jimmy buckets! Splash down! Tatum on Jones. This is it. The defining moment for the win. Tatum! And we'll go to another 5 minutes of play. Crowder steps up. Wide open 3. Yes! Jay Crowder giving the Heat a 1-point lead. Rebounded by Hero. Quick hit ahead. Bam out front and slams it in.
What a play by Tyler Hero. Beautiful.
The Heat have really dug in defensively and now on a 7-0 run. Dragic clears it out. Butler downhill on Tatum. Into traffic. Got it! And one! Clutch time, Dade County. Jimmy Butler delivering. Clock at 7. Working against Butler. Got downhill.
If I'm the Heat, I'm definitely trying to get Bam involved in a big-time way because I think he has a big-time advantage over the Boston centers. And I mean, they don't have anybody like Bam. You know what I mean? And what are they going to do, put Taco Fall in there? They're not going to do that. He's too young and too green at this point and too skinny that Bam at this point would put his ass through the hoop and he'd probably break in half. Bam Adebayo will be a near impossible cover, I believe, for them.
Couldn't punch it. Bam says, get it out of here. Tatum makes the catch. Got it off in time. Online, but no good. And the Heat win game 1 in overtime.
This is the Big O Show.
That was beautiful last night. The boys got it done as they end up defeating the Boston Celtics in overtime, 117-114. And you heard the Bam Adebayo block that was heard around the world. It was a beautiful thing. It was a great Heat moment. It was a moment where Bam Adebayo in this season established himself as an all-star. And maybe with that block, he's saying, yeah, maybe I'm going to start walking into that superstar realm. And last night, that was enormous. That was phenomenal. Overcoming deficits, overcoming adversity all throughout the game. They didn't play well in one quarter. They played well in another. I mean, it was amazing. I mean, the first quarter was a disaster. They didn't start off well, and then the second quarter they get it going, and then the third quarter was the third quarter, right? The third quarter became the third quarter, and then the fourth quarter they respond, play after play. Jay Crowder making big shots, Dragon making big shots, Jimmy Butler with a monster 3 from the corner, the big drive to the hoop with some harm, and he gets the foul shot. On top of all of that, Tyler Hero with nearly a triple-double. And, when we talk about this team, there's something that comes to mind when I look at this Heat team. You know what comes to mind? The 2003 Marlins. Really. Because the 2003 Marlins came out of nowhere, right? May rolls around, they fire their manager, they change managers, they call up Miggy, they call up Dontrell Willis, and the rest is history. They go on this roll, they take on the big bad Yankees with the $200+ million payroll and beat them, right? And so now you've got the Heat, again, a young and up-and-coming team, like those Marlins, young bucks all over the place. I can call Tyler Hero Josh Beckett. You know what I mean? Pudge is Jimmy Butler, right? I mean, these are the kind of things that we're watching develop, right? And the Heat, if they advance here from the Eastern Conference Finals, which we're getting way ahead of ourselves after one game, okay, this is not even close to being over, but just for fun. And they take on the Lakers. And again, I'm getting ahead of myself because Denver could beat the Lakers too, although I think the Lakers are going to win now that the Clippers are out. And we'll get to the Clippers too. But let's just say for fun, Lakers are the Yankees, Marlins are the Heat. And what happens if they take down the big bad Lakers too on top of all of that? So there's like a lot of similarities because nobody was picking the Heat to get to the Eastern Conference Finals or the NBA Finals, much less win it. Nobody was picking the Marlins to get to the pennant or to get to the World Series or even win the World Series in 2003, right? And the other difference is the Heat will keep their players. The Marlins don't. At least the old Marlins don't. Let's not label Jeter and company that. They've got their opportunity to prove everything to all of us out there. But it's funny how, in a way, this team reminds me a lot of what was happening and developing with the 03 Marlins. It's pretty awesome, man. It is pretty awesome.
It's
and Bam
trippy.
Adebayo was the Miguel Cabrera of the whole thing yesterday. I mean, it was nasty to see what was going on with that team.
Play for play, the punch out by Pudge at the plate against San Fran
Right.
to finish, right? Bam with the block.
Right.
An emulation of plays.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it just reminds me a lot of what went on with the Marlins and that story in '03, how it captured everybody's imagination. And wow, the young Marlins are surprising, and they had a couple of sprinkled in veterans on that team, and there's a lot of similarities in a way to what's going on with the Miami Heat. And last night, to start off 1-0. Take this game into overtime, overcome all the adversity that they had to overcome, and then big play after big play. And Jimmy Butler's not known for threes, and somehow or another he's become a three-point shooter lately. And when you call him Jimmy Buckets, right? Well, this is what we're talking about. Jimmy, if you're going to suck shooting the three-pointer in game 42 of the regular season, but when the playoff rolls around, you're going to hit it. Well, hey, man, I'm good with that. I'm good with that because the dude is waiting for, it's clutch moments. Clutch. You can't take that away from Jimmy at all. It's crazy. Like when he drove to the hoop and he scored and he got fouled, I kind of, you're almost at a point where you expect him to do that. You know what I mean? Because of his toughness, he's fearless, all that stuff. But now that he's hitting three-pointers too on top of all of that, and in key moments, and also, there were people there. It wasn't as impressive as the three-hero hit, where he's got one guy that he's got to sidestep, and then there's another guy coming, and he still hits the three, which was enormous. When he hit that three, what was it? I wrote it down. It was 105-103 with 102 left in the game. When Butler hit his three-pointer, he made it 106-105 with 22 seconds left. And then the drive, there was 12 seconds left, and he made it 116-112. These are, and then you throw that block in there. I can't tell you enough how impressive it is. When we talk about the Panthers, right? Has Barkov had one moment in his entire career like Tyler Hero last night? One. Of course not, because he can't put himself in a playoff position to do that. Right? It doesn't matter who you're talking about. All they're young guys. Do they have any moments like Bam or Tyler? No. And Tyler's been in the league 1 year. And this is Bam's third year and his first shot at being in the playoffs, and he's making a run through the playoffs. I hope Huberdeau and I hope Barkov, I hope they're watching this. I hope they're watching this to see if maybe they pick up some, maybe they could go visit the Wizard and instead of a heart, pick up some balls in the process because they need them. Because Tyler Johnson's got plenty. Maybe that's why he's picking up really hot Instagram models. Okay? And Barkov is, ho hum, woe is me. It's a joke, actually. But, enough of talking about the underachieving Panthers and guys that we want to create stars when you got to earn it. And that's what Bam is doing on the court right now. We keep talking about they need to pair Jimmy with another star, and they got to go find that star in the offseason. They're developing them right now, Bam and Tyler. It looks like Jimmy, Bam, and Tyler are your big three, right? Tyler looks like he is all-star material. That's a baby that had almost a triple-double last night, an infant in this game. The kid is fearless of every moment, and his skill set is developing before our eyes. He's not just a shooter. The kid can pass. He rebounds. Defensively, he'll get better. I'm not going to hold that Kemba shot. Kemba's been doing that on anybody and everybody forever, and he sucked. But that one shot, you know what? When that kid hits the gym and builds up the muscles and all that, you'll see he'll become a better defender. So will Duncan. That was the other thing. Yesterday, part of the adversity was Duncan Robinson kept having foul trouble yesterday. He never got in a groove. So that's one weapon that you never really got going yesterday, which really we all know that weapon helps out a lot because that dude can shoot. Okay, that's the best shooter on the court. It's not Jason Tatum. He's the best. He might be the best overall player. You could label that if you want. I'll give you that. But best shooter, best three-point shooter, nobody's better than Duncan on that court. And Duncan didn't even get in a groove yesterday. It was, again, it is so impressive to watch mentally how strong and how tough these young Heat players are. I'm not impressed by Crowder's toughness. I'm not impressed by Goran's toughness. I'm not impressed by Jimmy's toughness. These are all veterans. They've been in the league. They should be ready for this moment. They've been hardened for this moment. You know what I mean? They're experienced already. But when I'm watching Bam and Tyler do the things they're doing, that's when I say the Heat future is in really good hands. And when Jimmy tells you, we all know that leadership-wise, he is the heart and soul of the team. But when he tells you that Bam's the heart and soul of the team, he's talking about all the basketball sense of it, and he's right. It's funny because you can't have this team without Jimmy's leadership, but you can't have this team without the pillar of stability that is Bam Adebayo. And that block, and Tyler, I mean, I can't say enough about these guys. It was a lot of fun last night to watch this and to watch the way they were able to overcome adversity. I am so proud of this basketball team, and you got to love the future too. It's not just about what's going on now, okay? And the good thing about last night, it reminds you that this team is for real, and this team easily could be in the NBA Finals. I'm not saying it's easy to overcome the Celtics and beat them. I'm just saying it's realistic now, okay? It's not something, this isn't by mistake. This isn't a fluke, none of that. They're good enough to be through the first round, through the second round. They're good enough to be here in the Eastern Conference, and they're good enough to advance to the NBA Finals. Whether they can beat LeBron or Denver, whoever gets there, well, that's a whole different conversation that I hope we get to have in 2 weeks. You know what I mean? So last night was a blast, man. It was a lot of fun. So if you all want to get in, you can chime in on the chat board, on the super chat, which, by the way, Myron already has chimed in on the super chat. He says, there goes your Clippers pick to win the bubble championship, and I got the Heat in 7. Go Lakers. And Myron's a big Lakers fan. He knows I had the Clippers winning. And let's talk a little bit about that yesterday with the Clippers losing to Denver. Very disappointed, but I've learned something about Kawhi Leonard that I did not know. Okay? Are you ready for this? Kawhi Leonard sucks as a leader. He doesn't have a 100th of the leadership qualities of Jimmy Butler. What Kawhi Leonard is one of the great players of all time. Kawhi Leonard landed on a San Antonio Spurs team that had character, that had Hall of Famers already, that had a work ethic that was set by the coach and represented by all the players. And Tim Duncan was his, PR guy inside that locker room, that the best player is following all the rules. That makes everybody else in line, right? And then you had Tony and you had Ginobili. And again, you gotta compartmentalize what I'm saying. I'm not saying that Kawhi Leonard's not a great player. He's way better than Jimmy Butler, okay? Player, okay? What the Clippers needed was a leader. Was a man who demanded accountability, responsibility, professionalism, not going out to get wings at a strip club, not going out to get food like the other guy did, the big guy, I'm forgetting his name now. But my point is, you had guys that were screwing off in that bubble, and they had to miss days, and they were in the news and all that. And when you watch the Clippers, it was almost like they were pacing themselves the whole year. The Lakers took over, and LeBron, like a maniac at the beginning of the season, busted his ass along with the team and took off and took control of the number 1 seed. He didn't know there was going to be a pandemic, but he did the responsible thing. He goes, I'm not in the East anymore. I'm in the West. I'm going to make sure I have home court. In the East, even if I didn't get the home court, I didn't care. I was going to get to the finals anyway, but I'm in the West. So LeBron, the leader that he is, the driven mad man that he is focused on what he needs to do, and he makes everybody get in line. Kawhi Leonard then moves on to the Toronto Raptors. Did you watch the Raptors this year? They just weren't good enough to get to the finals. But they are good enough to give you incredible effort, play hard, play defense, play their asses off all the way to the end. Right? There was no quit. They just weren't good enough to get past the Celtics. Kawhi Leonard joins a team that already had a structure in place, had character, had discipline, had work ethic, and then all he had to do was add his amazing talent. When I hear people talk about the Clippers and the Nuggets series, nobody's talking about this. Not one person. Okay? I'm the only one talking about this. I think I'm the only one that's noticed this. I think others will notice this now. Kawhi Leonard is one of the great players of all time. He's not a leader. He only leads by example. He'll go play, he'll play his game, but he's not the guy to rattle others' cages. He's not the guy to demand you be there at practice, you be on time, don't screw around, If he was, what happened with the Clippers would not have happened. Because what happened with the Clippers, no way happens with the Miami Heat. No way it happens with the San Antonio Spurs. No way it happens with the Toronto Raptors. No way it happens with the Los Angeles Lakers. No way it happens with the Boston Celtics. Why? Because there's structure already in place with all those teams. There's discipline already. Whether they're good enough or bad enough to get to a point, that's a whole different conversation. I hope you're understanding what I'm talking about, okay? That's what I learned from Kawhi Leonard now. He was in a moment where they didn't only need his talent, they needed his leadership in the bubble, and he failed. Whereas Jimmy Butler rallies his guys, demands the best from his guys. He knows that everybody else is going to work hard because that goes with the territory in that franchise. If you play for the Miami Heat, you've got to have some character, some work. That's why Whiteside never was going to work out here, ever. Because he was never going to have the professionalism that you're required to be a Miami Heat player. Okay? And so Kawhi Leonard would have been better, actually. You know what? In hindsight, he might have been better going to the Lakers. Because while he's a great player, he's still a follower. Because his attitude, his demeanor is not one of leadership. It's just greatness in his play, but not in the way he leads. And that's why the Clippers are out. Doc Rivers could not get them focused and motivated, and Kawhi Leonard failed as a superstar because he is a superstar by talent. He is not a superstar by leadership. And that's the problem. He doesn't have Magic Johnson in him. He's not Larry Bird. He's not Michael Jordan. He's not LeBron James either. And this example here, for me at least, there's never going to be an argument anymore ever again between LeBron and Kawhi. It's the same way I tell you that, it took him 7, 8, 9 years to finally get the dog out of him. Boston Game 6 in a Heat uniform. That's when he finally became that guy that went along with the talent. Michael Jordan was that when he was in college. So that's why LeBron will never be Michael. And now I've realized that Kawhi will never be LeBron. He's a great, great player and all of that, but he's not the guy that should be your number one on your team unless your team already has the coach and the structure in place so he doesn't have to carry that burden. Because he proved to me this year he cannot carry that burden. When they needed a leader, Kawhi Leonard failed. Okay? So make no mistake, that's what happened yesterday that's what happened in the bubble. No, I'm sorry, that's what happened all season with Kawhi Leonard. Too much of this stuff with, if you see the Lakers kicking ass and taking off, we'll be fine, we'll just pace. Well, how do you know that? You got a bunch of unproven guys. See, Toronto Raptors were going to the playoffs every year. They just couldn't get over the hump deep because they didn't have the one superstar they needed, the talent to get them over the top, and they got the talent. They already had the structure in place. They still have it in place. It's still a damn good franchise. The players still play their asses off, okay? It's just a matter of, are you good enough? It's like the Miami Heat. We got the players. We got talent, we got structure, we got character. Are you good enough to get to second round, third round, NBA Finals, win it? That's a whole different question. But character, work ethic, professionalism, dedication, it's all there already with the Miami Heat. It wasn't there with the Clippers. And that's because the guy at the top still worried about, taking days off and managing his injury and desperation wasn't there. You got your money. You got a couple championships already. Maybe it doesn't mean that much to you. And we'll see. We'll see if maybe Kawhi Leonard can grow from this. I don't know. But I didn't see a leader there, man. Happy birthday to Gus 1388. I saw that he posted that it was his birthday. He wants a Dolphin win against the Bills. Well, you got to win yesterday, so you got one present. I hope that the Heat give you another present on Thursday. And then on Saturday, I hope the Heat and the Dolphins give you another present, so you get 4 of them this week.
How about the
4
Canes?
wins.
How about the Canes Saturday?
Well, that would be nice, too.
Just a toss in,
Yeah. I'm just not going to sit there and go, they beat Louisville. We're going to the championship. You know what I mean?
You know who I hope is listening, man?
What's that?
I hope Sunrise is listening. Your suggestion, Sunrise, you need to set up a field trip and go down to Biscayne Boulevard and get in the Heat's back pocket. Just a suggestion.
Oh, you mean the Panthers? Oh, yeah.
Well, it's of course.
Yes. Man of 1,005 holds gives us a little love on the Super Chat. I like it. It's been renamed now. And welcome to the Bam Bam Room, where we are serving hero sandwiches, and a butler will provide you with drinks. Trolls will be blocked. Nice job by you, man of 1,005 holds. I like that. That is
to not
really
walk
good.
away from the clip. Did you see, is this right? Doc Rivers has had 3 teams.
Yeah, 3-1 losses.
3-1 and lose.
Yeah.
You know what compounded it, looking at some of the numbers? They had leads of 12, 19. They were in the lead in all 3 of these games. They lost.
I know.
How do you let, you know what, like you talked about the whole season, their attitude, like it's us and the Lakers. It's us kind of coasting. It caught up to them in this game against a team that, got to give props to Denver, man. First team ever to come back from 2 3-1s down.
And give props to LeBron, because he started with desperation from game 1 of the regular season.
Oh yeah, when they were in the bubble, there's 8 games. The Lakers only had to win 1 game out of 8 to seal the deal.
But I'm saying in the
On the home
regular,
field.
but to start the season.
Oh yeah, he was
in November. The guy came out like a banshee. okay?
If you remember,
And
he
he
actually
didn't have to.
right.
He could pace himself
Yes.
too if he wanted
Yes.
to, and he didn't, and he did not choose
It actually,
to do that.
do you remember? It actually caught up to them. They had a little stretch
Yeah, they were a
in
little
January,
tired. Yeah.
February
Yeah.
that it was like, man, is this guy gonna last the whole season?
Right.
I remember that.
Right. But they were able to get away with it, and so kudos to them for that. Alexa V, the president, chimes in with a little love on Super Chat. Clippers were thinking too much of the Lakers rather than getting business done. They deserve to go to Cancun. That's what Man of 1,005 Hold says. And Alexa, thank you for sending me a sticker. She knows I like the stickers. Says, hey, you. Appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Doc Rivers overrated by Bromar Smelly. Hey, he deserves that. He deserves that. And he's got to live with it. It's the way it was. Kawhi was on the wrong side of the 74-year history. No, yeah, he was. James Roman, good morning, everybody. It's Mexican Independence Day, and I got the day off. Tequila shots, anybody? No more, what is it? No more something, the belt or whatever. Let me see. No more. I don't know what the hell it says there. But anyway, did you see the Mandalorian Season 2 trailer? Yes, I did. You folks have sent me the trailer and everything. I appreciate it.
What was my comment?
But yeah, it's like October 30th. They're waiting till the end of October to give us the
Those bastards, man. Why tease it? And then we got to sit here for a month and a half and go, man, I wish I could see that.
Yeah. It's ridiculous,
It's
man.
just not nice, bro. It's wrong.
No, I'm with you. And Gus 1388 was the first to chime in. Well, I don't know who was the first because, when we had the first sign in, that was a disaster and everything, the audio was all screwed up. I don't know who was first then, but I guess this time around, Gus 1388. Omar checks in, says, incredible win last night. This team is learning how to win huge games in different ways. Let me see. Let me go through some of the comments that you guys have posted. So many big injuries around the league. Looks like it was a good decision that Flores load managed a lot of his players on the team. Or we're just lucky, Anthony. That's all. You know what I mean? It's going to be good luck and bad luck, man. That's all. It's a weird year, man. I mean, Jimmy Butler all of a sudden is a three-point shooter. It's a strange year, man. Santos says, good afternoon, Bill and Big O. You can call me a blind-ass fan, but Bam is a superstar for the Miami Heat. Let's go Heat. Hey, listen, you're not out of line, okay? Those are superstar moments. That's what he's doing. He became an all-star this year, and then he's adding to that chapter, and it's adding another one and another one, and it gets to a point where, yeah, you become superstar caliber. So you're not completely out of line or anything like that for saying that. He may not be there yet, but those are superstar moments, just like Tyler Hero last night. That's all-star moments right there. That's a kid that's developing into a star. So Bam and Tyler, okay, not lottery picks, but they're picked in the teens, and these guys are developing into stars. So yeah.
If that's being a blind-ass fan, I think there's a bunch of us that are on that train riding that blind-ass fan feel, okay?
Yeah, definitely. Big O from Super V, the Heat players play with a lot of heart, unlike the Clippers. Amen. George says he'd have two rookies, one first-year player and a second-year player. So young, big advantage in bubble, no fans or distractions, just play ball. So it actually creates an even level playing field, which makes it even more impressive, the win, actually. The comparisons between the Lakers and Yankees doesn't compare. The Yankees have won 4 World Series in 8 years. The Lakers hadn't made the playoffs in 7 years. Who's the best team in the NBA, sir? It's the Lakers. Forget about what they've done in the past. You think the comparisons are going to be, like, completely spot on? Come on, man. The idea is the Lakers are the Yankees because they are royalty.
The organizations,
Yankees,
yeah, exactly.
Yankees are royalty in baseball, and the Lakers are. We only have 2 royalty teams in the NBA. Okay,
We're playing one of them.
Yeah, Lakers and Celtics. That's it. So the Lakers are the favorite. They're the ones that everybody's looking at. So they are the Yankees, and to the Marlins that year. That's what it is. The Yankees are the team, right there and then. So I'm not sure what you're, you want to get anal about it, go ahead, man. But that's an extreme. We put the smackdown on them with that block. Tatum was like, what just happened? I'm with you there. Let's see. 90 miles from Cuba says better offense to Hero's defense on that play. Wasn't made. He didn't want to give up that drive, and that's classic Kemba. Wasn't mad at that at all. Hero's play incredible. Exactly. Hero will get better defensively in those kind of moments. It's just time. It's only one. It's not even a full year yet for this kid. He was squeezing pimples 2 years ago.
Kid's not legal to drink.
Yeah. Dude now is going out with a fine woman on IG and
Speaking of which, have we found out if she's gotten into the bubble or?
I think she visited him in the bubble.
Okay, well, you got to stay out for what, 10 days? You got to be quarantined before you get access to.
No, I think they had an opportunity to hook up a little bit in the bubble. That's why
worried about his legs. Remember how we talked about his legs?
That's why he almost had a triple double because he had a taste of that that he hadn't had a taste of for a little while. Mike Gomez says Pat Riley also with a deadline trade of Crowder, Iguodala. Crowder been balling and dragging as well. Tyler, Bam, Butler. Yeah, no, Riley's Riley, man. And those of you that were giving up on Riley, shame on you. Shame on you. Ronald Hubbard says, good afternoon, Big O Land. Awesome to see the Clippers choke. Great game by the Heat. Big Ten football is here for the fall. Such a great day. Yep, October 23rd or 24th, I believe, is when they're starting the season for the Big Ten. Let's see, what else do we have?
A little tough on that because they're talking about doing 8-game season.
Yeah.
And basically, if something happens and they have to reschedule, they're going to fall short of that set, that 8, because December 19th is when their championship would be the Big Ten, and December 20th is the day when they assign bowl games all that.
They'll delay it a week if they have to.
You think so? The whole BCS will go, we'll wait. Everybody.
Yeah, it's the kind of year where this kind of stuff happens.
You got to have asterisks and
you got to accommodate people here, So I think you'll do.
You
got
to factor in the variable possibility. Yeah.
Big O, your master volume is low. Okay. Is everybody else saying that? Is it low for you guys out there? Because he's the only one that's put that. Nobody else has. So tell me if there's any issues with the volume. Please tell me, because there's a lot of people right now watching. So I'm not sure if it's too, or you got to raise your own volume.
Yeah, I've checked it, and we're
fine?
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe you got to raise your own volume, my man, because you're the only one complaining. And we just checked it. And let me see. I can raise mine. I can raise mine right here in front of me. I think it is kind of low. It's low. It's low. It's low. It's definitely low. Yep. Yeah, it's all coming. Yeah, you guys are saying it's low. Hey, if there's something wrong, tell me right away. Okay? So we can fix it. All right? So if it gets better, tell us now, because Bill is working on it. Obviously, we had a bunch of technical issues at the beginning of the show and tried to fix that to sign back up again. I had to raise my volume, but it's fine. The volume is very low, Big O. Stop trying to get Bill in trouble. Better. Okay, so it's getting better there. All right. So there you go. All right. Now too loud? Now too loud? Okay. All right. Which one is it? Now it's too loud. All right, so you may want to back off a little bit.
You know what's the problem? It's like delayed like 30 seconds, so
okay.
It's like chasing a tail.
Okay. All right, so there we go. Looks like I guess we're in the process of fixing it. By the way, there's only one person hotter than the Miami Heat, okay? And guess who that is? Huh? Guess who that is, huh? 2-0 yesterday against the number. We told you to take Miami plus 1.5, and they won 117-114 in overtime. They actually covered the over, too. It was 210.5. I didn't pick the over, but I did tell you go with Heat plus 1.5, right? We won. Did I not tell you to go Denver plus 7, 7.5, whatever it was? I said take Denver, didn't I? Well, Denver won yesterday 104-89. So we went 2-0 against the spread. Do you know how much we are against the spread right now in the NBA playoffs? 33, 23, and 1. We are 10 games over 500 in the NBA playoffs.
I've been fielding phone calls from Vegas.
Vegas ain't got shit on
no,
me.
well, they're actually looking to employ you, bro.
Okay.
I mean, that's awesome.
All
man.
right, Vegas ain't got squat
Basketball
on me.
is the most 70, 80 possessions per team, and they get within a point to 2 points every.
33, 23, and 1.
They're killing it, brother.
Okay, so if you've been following and you've been betting all my bets in basketball, you are winning money. Okay, and we got Celtics -2, and the over and under is 208.5. Where do you think I'm going? Huh? Where do you think I'm going? Right? I stayed true with the Celtics, made a bunch of money so far. I stayed true with the Nuggets. I've made money so far. I'm staying true to the Heat now. They're the team that if you want to give me points. Oh, by the way, didn't I make money off of Milwaukee? Didn't you make money off Milwaukee? Didn't I take the points every time with the Heat, right? Take the points +2 against the Celtics. I like if you're going to make the Heat the dog, give me the points. I'll take them. Okay? And then the opening line right now is Lakers 6.5. Over and under is 212. Okay? I'm going to go with the over 212 on that one. My problem is I remember what happened to Denver in the first game against the Clippers when they went through a 7-game brutal series with Utah, and they didn't have legs in that first game. I'm worried that the Lakers are fresh in this first game. LeBron, what have I talked about? Focused, driven. He wants to kick ass. I think that first game, I'm laying the 6.5 actually, and I'm staying away from that. If I had to do anything, I would lay the 6.5, but I'm not touching that. I'm going to go over 212 because I'm afraid that Denver might be a little flat on Friday. After that, you're probably going to see me take the points with Denver in all the other games. But for now, I'm going to stay away from the points in that game, and I'm going to go over 212 because I think they will actually score a lot of points in that one. Okay? So those are my picks, and I am sticking to it. Heat +2, over 212, Denver Lakers. Those are my two selections in the NBA playoffs this week. Okay? Because obviously we got the Heat game tomorrow and the Lakers game on Friday, so I won't be making any more NBA picks. I'll wait till Friday. I'll be able to give you the picks for the weekend is probably what I'll do, okay? Kenneth Cleveland chiming in and giving us some love on the Super Chat. Kenneth says, good afternoon, Big O. Kenneth Cleveland is live from the original Boom Boom Room. Them Dade County goons are in the VIP room, and tell them, man, if 1001 holds up to get some originally and get his own shtick. That's right. So you got man of 1005 holds. Kenneth doesn't like that you're copying his Boom Boom Room by calling it the Bam Bam Room. Okay? So I'm just saying there's a There's a copyright infringement going on right now on the chat board. Okay? So what can I tell you? Gus 1388 says Hero 12 points, 11 rebounds, and 9 assists. Hero would have tied Hall of Famer Magic Johnson as the second youngest player in NBA history to record a triple-double. Yep, I saw that stat yesterday myself. That would have been really cool. Maybe he'll get it on the next one. Let's see. And by the way, if it sounds all right now, everything good? Everything's kosher now, folks? We're all good out there? Make sure you give me a heads up if everything is good. Okay?
Sounded good on the phone.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure that it sounds good to you all out there right now on the deal. But anyway, so you got my picks. We are set with that. We are rocking and rolling with that.
You know, it's crazy watching the screen today, watching the tablet. Because of the faces of the YouTube guys, the little circle is like on your face, on their face, and it's like following them live.
Love it. I love it. All right, so good stuff with the Heat coming out of absolutely nowhere. What else do we have? Marlins lost yesterday to the Red Sox, 2-0. They dropped to 24-22. Tonight, Trevor Rogers is on the mound. I like it that tonight there's no basketball, and we get to kind of chill out and just focus on the Marlins. Because I got to be honest, when the basketball's going on, I have to go back and watch the Marlins and then check out what's going on and all that stuff. Hey, can I give you guys a little tip out there? Any of you out there, if you have Hulu, okay, I suggest you switch over to YouTube. All right? I had Hulu Live because I dropped DirecTV because it's just like worlds expensive. I mean, it's ridiculous. And so Hulu, does a nice job actually. But I tried YouTube Premium, and YouTube Premium is the bomb. Okay, much easier to use. They have the NFL and MLB, NBA, NHL channels, which Hulu doesn't. They also offer the Red Zone channel if you want to add that, which Hulu doesn't. But using it is awesome. Like Bill, I'm watching the Heat game, right? And so then I want to go to the Marlins game, right? And when it's all done. And when you go to the Marlins game on YouTube and you already have everything set up to record and all that, it tells you want to go to the game live, or first do you want to see all the key plays, then join it live. And so
it gives you the
button,
highlight edits prior to going in, so it brings you to where you're at when you pick it up.
Yes.
That's awesome.
YouTube does that. You're not going to get that at Hulu.
Wow.
Okay? I'm just telling you.
That's ingenious, bro.
And the way you use the remote and the program, it is so user-friendly compared to Hulu. Okay? I'm just telling you because any of you that have gone through the hell of all the money you spend for satellite and cable, and now you're comparing it to some of these .coms because now it's a lot cheaper. You do satellite, not only do you pay for the service, then you got to pay for each machine that you have in the house. You know what I mean? You pay like $6 for each machine or something. I mean, it's enormous. I'm just telling you, YouTube, freaking awesome. So if you're using one of the, and by the way, YouTube, for me personally, even though there's not a lot of it, but you still get some, they have VH1 and they have MTV, which they don't have in Hulu either. So a little music, even though I watch most of my music just on flat out YouTube, pretty much. But I'm just saying, if you want to compare the two for a sports fan, YouTube Premium is light years ahead of Hulu. Okay?
What's the difference in the number?
The money, same thing. Both $65 a month.
That's nothing.
And you get more channels flat out from YouTube than you do. Oh, one more thing. On Hulu, it's a 50-hour DVR, 60-hour DVR. YouTube, unlimited. So you're not sitting there having to erase stuff and, save space. No. YouTube, it's there, bro. It'll record whatever you have. It's freaking awesome. I'm just telling you because as a person that's been going through all of this, it's a mission.
Sounds like smart TVs are in order.
Oh, yeah, definitely. You got it. Yeah. Myron says I got YouTube Premium. It's awesome, man. It is awesome. All right. People are all saying it sounds good, except for Andrew. Now he says I am too having difficulty. Well, you must be like behind or something on the show because it looks like everybody's fine now. Brandon Jones' job is for run support, and Eric Rowe is for man-on-man coverage versus slot tight ends and wide receivers. Okay, so Herman and Matthew are going back and forth on players' responsibilities in the secondary. All right. Let's see what else. Just to make sure that the sound is fine. Okay. Yeah. All right. Sounds loud enough. Okay. Well, I don't think they need to hear that, bro. But yes. Okay. All right. Sounds like it's loud enough now. All right. Anyway, so plenty of things to talk about. Marlins will be back in action tonight, so I'm glad I'll get to enjoy a little action there. The other thing, I don't know if you guys saw this, but if you get a chance, go and watch the press conferences from the Celtic players after. And let me tell you something, there was no credit to the Heat at all. The Celtic players blamed everything on themselves, that they didn't do enough. They weren't good enough in this moment. They didn't make the baskets. They didn't defend. There was no credit whatsoever. When you listen to the press conference from the Miami Heat, it was hey, that's a tough team over there. Spo did plenty of praising for the other team. Guys were respectful. Jimmy Butler also was like, hey, that's a good team over there. They play hard. But when I saw the Celtics on that loss, it was all them and nothing to do with the Miami Heat. And I found it really interesting, and I wonder if the Heat players, I mean, not that they need any motivation. I've already done this segment before. I told you their maturity is through the roof. It's crazy. 4-0 against the Pacers, 4-1 against Milwaukee, and now you don't screw around against Boston and you win the first one. I mean, this team, wow. We talk about the Clippers coasting and, taking games off, moments off, whatever. This team, forget about it. And so the work ethic is there, so they don't need motivation. But I'm just wondering if anybody saw those press conferences yesterday by the Celtics. Something tells me that if you're a Heat player, you're going to watch that and you're going to go, so we had nothing to do with that? So it wasn't Tyler's great shot from three or an incredible bounce pass in a break. I forgot who it was. Was it Crowder, I think he passed it to? I forgot, but it doesn't matter. Either way, the Tyler bounce pass, the Jimmy Butler three, the Jimmy Butler shot, the Bam block. I mean, okay, so they don't get any credit? That one, so I found it really interesting that when you listen to those press conferences, and I want you to go back if you get a chance to listen to last night's press conferences, they pretty much kind of, it was all us. Nothing with the Heat at all.
I've been looking at the stats from last night compared to season, and they pretty much played their game,
Who?
Celtics.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. They were within their usual numbers, their score, everything,
Not Kemba.
Kemba, no, a little down.
He's been playing bad.
But across the board, for the most part, you know what I mean?
Yep.
They were what they are.
Two things
That's my point.
Two things I said yesterday that Miami had an advantage on. What was it?
Bench.
And?
Bam.
Okay. So what did
Wham, bam.
How many points did they win by?
3.
The bench outscored their bench 22-18.
4 points.
That's the difference in the game. Not a huge difference in the bench last night. I expected to be a little bit more of a difference, but those 4 points was the difference in the game. You know what I mean? And to me, that's one of the things I talked about yesterday, that I thought Miami's bench was better. And obviously Tyler Hero is the star of both benches. One of the stars of the damn game is Tyler Hero, because from the bench he almost had a triple-double. I don't think they had anybody in the neighborhood like that on their bench. You know what I'm saying? So it's interesting, man. It really is, to see the way that they have played and the maturity level of this team. That's why I'll be interested to see if they find any motivation from the comments from the Celtics last night.
You know, let's be honest, because we talked about it last night. The foul call on Draj on that three-point shot, for the ball to be deflected and for them to call a foul.
Because the body on the bottom is where they had the connection.
Bam, but he got ball first. Yeah,
but the body is when you're in the air, there was contact.
It still is a bad call. Bam's under the basket. He would have got the rebound. When they go from it's not a foul, to we're going to tip the ball. No, it should have been our ball. Bam was the one that came up with the ball.
Yeah,
if you don't screw up the foul call, we get the ball.
The referees weren't a difference in the game. They weren't the difference in the game.
What I'm saying is, when he hits the three after the tip, there's no overtime.
Yeah, the Crowder play was kind of questionable.
Yes, that was terrible.
There was a couple, but that's, it's an NBA game. There's going to be 400 calls.
You pointed it out. The refs are the worst.
Yeah, they're the bad. But
my point is, we shouldn't have been in overtime. We shouldn't have been.
That game was not decided by the refs. So the Heat did what they were supposed to do. They played crappy in the second and the first and third quarters. So they put themselves in that position. And then they had to play their asses off in the second and the fourth and overtime to end up, pulling this thing out. So I can't lean on them that hard, because in the end, the Heat put themselves in a position of a deficit, and then the Heat themselves lifted themselves out of that deficit and got the win. So I got to give them.
Like you talk about maturity and stuff, you look at the way we started the game. We ran them down. We took a lead. The third period, they got back out to 10, 12 points a couple times, and we ran them down again. That maturity of not panicking, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's amazing.
Yep.
This team.
Gus 1388 says, "Hey Kenneth, Cleveland, is Hallie and Salma going to join us for my Boom Boom Room birthday party?" The birthday boy wants a little Hallie and Salma as he sends in a super chat. Which, by the way, Kenneth. Kenneth Cleveland then answers back, Gus 1388, Hallie, Selma, and Sophia will be joining us. A couple of Cohibas and a bottle of Havana Club. You guys are a trip. As Kenneth in Cleveland, by the way, that's his second super chat.
That's a pretty awesome party all around, right?
Yeah, no, that's the kind of party I want to be at. That's for damn sure. I'm with you there. Alex Diaz says, big old Dolphin fans are starting to come out of the woodworks to get OBJ. Can't believe people want him here. Yes, that's what usually happens. Some Dolphins, they want to grab every free agent in the book. And the Browns, it's funny how they want to get rid of OBJ now. That's the rumor now. It's that guy's going to be headed to another team. Wow. That's there are certain guys in the history of sports. They might be really talented, but it gets to a point where you're like, I'll pass. The talent is one thing, the baggage is another, and then when the baggage outweighs the talent, it just becomes a burden. And that's why the T.O. thing is so funny. I know he belongs in the Hall of Fame, but I had some people were all disgusted or insulted that, he should have been first ballot. No, dude, he's a first ballot a-hole. So that's why he shouldn't be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Okay? Just because the good Lord blessed you with talent and you went out and put up good numbers doesn't mean that you should be first ballot. Okay, so you make it in the Hall. Dwight Howard belongs in the Hall of Fame. The basketball player. Yeah, Dwight Howard, he does. Look at his numbers. Easily Hall of Fame numbers. Would I put him in the first ballot? No. I don't care how great he was. And OBJ is kind of that dude that maybe in the end he'll have Hall of Fame numbers, but I probably won't put him in first ballot because he wasn't a team player, because he wasn't great at everything, like being a leader, like being a professional. He was more worried about going to party in Miami in a weekend during a playoff game, or wearing a watch on the field, or proposing to a kicking net, or maybe even getting in a fight with a kicking net. You know what I'm saying? So, or taking pictures with IG models who have joints and cocaine at their disposal right in the middle of the picture. You know, that kind of stuff. So for me, it's always interesting, these kind of cats that people clamor for because they fall in love with the numbers. But you could fall in love with the numbers of Jeff George, you're still not winning with him. And you can fall in love with the numbers of Terrell Owens, and you're not winning with him. And you can fall in love with the numbers of Odell Beckham, and you're not winning with him. I've seen this story before. And it's almost like you're intoxicated with the talent, but then you don't take into account the burden you must carry to then deal with the talent. Okay? And so there are just certain guys that it's just funny the way it works out. And OBJ, I kind of view him like some of those malcontents in the past that were super talented and put up some numbers, but no matter what they did, I still don't want them on my team. You know? Because I just don't want to deal with all the BS.
In all honesty, the last 2 years, 77, 74 catches, 1,052, 1,035, 6 touchdowns, 4 touchdowns.
No, nothing special.
It's nice, but it's not like I got to have this guy on my team.
You're not getting
all the crap,
like you said. You're not getting your money's worth.
Yeah.
You're not.
And all it's not, those stats, it ain't worth all the headache that guy's going to bring to you.
What was the name of the guy that played for the Redskins for like 18 years? He was a possession guy, really, really, really good receiver. Hall of Fame caliber.
You're not talking about our guy, Santana Moss, obviously.
No, dude, I'm telling you, he played for the Redskins forever, like 18 years or something, 15 years.
Is it Monk?
Art Monk.
Art Monk.
You see what Art Monk?
Man, what a go.
Art Monk had 75% of the ability of Odell Beckham, but 100% of the ability of being a pro, a winner, a leader, a guy you want on your football team.
You know what Art Monk is?
Like if you tell me Odell and Art Monk, you're going to tell me, hey, dude, Odell can blow the top off the defense, and he's explosive. And I'll say, I'm good with that. I'll take Art Monk every day of the week and twice on Sundays.
Steve Largent-like.
Right. I mean, Monk was a freaking monster and a stud. But yet, he wasn't like this freak of a talent like Odell is.
He just show up and do his job, man.
Yeah, no, he was super talented, but not like Odell. Not like T.O. These are guys that have elite talent. Okay, but elite talent isn't everything. Cody Douglas gives us back-to-back super chats, man.
That's a 1, now a 2.
There we go. Where he does the fist bumps sticker, and then he has the thumbs up. Thank you, Cody. Appreciate you, my man. That's very nice of you. And Super V, you, sir, are correct. Big O, these fans must realize the Dolphins front office don't make moves for players that don't fit their system or just because they're a high-profile name. And especially at this moment, they're not going to make any of those moves. That's why when Alvin Kamara came up, I was laughing. People writing articles, you should make a move for Alvin Kamara. You don't make a move for any of those kind of players until you're that player away from winning a title. And that's what people still don't understand. A lot of people don't know what the hell the Dolphins are doing, actually. They don't really get what the Dolphins are doing. That's the problem. Okay, we haven't taken a break, right?
I was just going to mention the fact that you have been at it for an hour and 4 minutes, sir.
Okay, all right. So first segment was an hour and 4 minutes. But you get that in radio all the time, right? On QAM, right, or 790.
Yeah, in the course of a half a day, 4 or 5 hours.
Their host can go an hour and 4 minutes straight, right, without taking a break, right? They do that, right, over in those kind of places. They give you like really good sports talk, right? Or are they just talking about stupid ass stuff? Not exactly sure, but anyway. Oh, the other thing before we take a break, we crossed the 2 million mark in downloads. When we started this thing, I had no idea where we were going. I had no idea where it would lead us. I didn't know if we would have any success or not, because I knew that our world is headed into a world. We're already there. I'm sorry, not headed. I know that our world is already in an on-demand society. And that's how we watch our movies. That's how we're watching our TV shows. Very few people are watching things live anymore because they don't want to sit there through the commercials. They'd rather record it and speed through everything, which, by the way, in Hulu, you can't speed through all your commercials, whereas in YouTube, you can speed through every commercial possible. Anyway, so the other thing, you know, it was a mission. You know, it was one of those things where, okay, well, this is where we're going. Let's see if we can do it. And we're 2 million downloads in, and I just want to thank all of you out there for, you know, your incredible support of downloading the show. You know, our numbers today are just incredible. They were amazing yesterday. I can't tell you enough, and I'm so happy, by the way, that it's, you know, mostly sports now, and obviously a little pop culture and some music that I love to talk about. So the show's so much more fun now instead of talking about COVID and all the other crap.
It wouldn't be a show without a music segment, brother.
No, definitely. I got a lot of music stuff today too. But anyway, so I just want to thank all of you out there, because whether you're a sponsor like the great people out here at VSS West Pines, or you're a listener, or you're a viewer, that you check us out on YouTube every day, or you download the show at 4 in the morning or 4 in the afternoon, whenever it is that you're listening. I really appreciate it, whether it's a segment, whether you're coming out here to VSS West Pines to purchase something and you mention us, or at Toyota of Hollywood or at Acura, wherever you go. Thank you so much, man. You guys are absolutely amazing. Your support has been second to none. So looking forward to building on our second year here in our show, and thank you for some incredible support.
The people that podcast, obviously, we don't get to directly interact. This message is for you guys. Thank you very much.
Yes,
for the podcast.
Yes,
you know?
And those of you, as always, you can send us a message on the text line at 786-322-1105 whenever you agree or disagree with something, or you got a suggestion. You know what I mean? On something you want us to add or eliminate from the show.
If you really want to get a rise out of Big O, be a troll.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, that'll help you. That'll help you get blocked. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll come back on the other side, baby. Coming to you live from VSS West Pines, and come on out here, 12397 Pembroke Road. They've got legal THC. Okay,
it works.
Okay, legal THC.
It works.
Just saying.
It really does.
You want to come on out here, okay? They've got the CBD, so if you're looking for relief and stress, anxiety, pain for you, for your animals, they've got it here also. Hookahs, you love to hit your hookah, they've got it here. You got CBD for your hookah, and they've got a selection of hookah pipes that are just, it is awesome. It is one of the most impressive things you will see, okay? And you save so much money when you have your own hookah pipes, okay, over there. I guess Bill is giving you like a view on the store and all the hookah pipes. So there you go. You can check it out for yourself, and they've got all the products here and the e-juice and all that stuff. And you can see some of the store. I guess I don't know how much you're seeing there, but seeing a lot. There's Bill's Darth Vader that he loves, that he's dying to own. But I'm just telling you, it is an amazing place. So it doesn't matter what you like, whether you want some THC to make you feel a little better, whether you're looking for CBD to relax a little bit and, ease the anxiety, or you're looking for your hookah or e-juice or anything, we've got it all for you here. And if you mention my name, you will get 20% off also. So come on out here to VSS West Pines, 12397 Pembroke Road, and tell them that Big O sent you. Call them 954-613-3367. That's 954-613-3367. And, of course, tell them that Big O sent you. Back in 2 minutes.
America's premium sport compact sedan is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. 2020 ILX, $199 a month, $199. And Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
Hey, it's Big O. For all of your family dental needs, please reach out to Moody's Dental. I've known Eric for a while, a big fan of our show. Call him at 305-821-0231. Whether it's you or your kids that need some dental help, whether it's implants, Invisaligns, they are the experts. Or if you're just looking to fill a cavity or clean your teeth, or maybe even get a crown, you are going to love the professionalism, the family-like atmosphere. And of course, when you talk about being clean, that's what it's all about in today's society. You are going to go to an extremely clean place. Go to moodyusdental.com, go to the website, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Moody's Dental. Tell them that Big O sent you. 305-821-0231, or go to moodyusdental.com.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
Hey, it's Big O. For all of your CBD, THC, or hookah needs, you got to get on down to VSS West Pines at 12397 Pembroke Road. Yes, they have got legal THC. You've got to check it out. And they've got, of course, when it comes to CBD, flower, tinctures, edibles, for all kinds of reasons, whether it's pain, stress, anxiety, you name it. And don't forget, when you mention my name, you'll get 20% off. Tell the boys out there that I told you to get on down to VSS West Pines, 12397 Pembroke Road, and call them 954-613-3367. Legal THC, CBD, all of your hookah needs. You go to VSS West Pines.
Jimmy, what was your vantage point of that block from Bam Adebayo?
That's why he's the heart and soul of our team, right there on the defensive end. He does everything for us. We love him for that. We appreciate him. I know that I damn sure do. But he was big for us all season.
And you are just captain fourth quarter. What is it about down the stretch and in OT that allows you to thrive under pressure?
I think that's my job, to help us win games at any point in time, but definitely in the fourth, definitely in overtime. I'm telling you, my teammates, my coaches, this organization got a lot of faith in me, so I'll try to pull through as often as I can.
Love it. That's Jimmy Butler talking about his boy Bam. What a block last night, man. That and the LeBron block in the finals, those are like the two greatest blocks in Heat history, bro. I mean, and to do that in the Eastern Conference, because it's funny how we talk about these great moments, right? And they always are etched in our minds. The LeBron block, we talk about LeBron coming to prominence and crossing that threshold in Game 6 against Boston. We talk about Wade when he's young, hitting that three from the side against Charlotte, right? And that's like the signature moment, you know what I'm saying? And every player has that. And that's kind of how they build their legacy and the history with fans. And there's no doubt that block right there, Bam is going to hear about that block for the next 10 years, okay? And and let me tell you, the block becomes bigger if you advance, okay? Because everybody's going to look at that like the signature moment that said, okay, we didn't only make it to the Eastern Conference, we deserve to be here. We deserve to be in the NBA Finals. You know, that kind of stuff. And when you have that block, and it means so much when it comes to a victory, and it sends a message to the Celtics that whether in their press conferences they didn't want to give as much credit as they should have to the Heat, and just out of a professional manner, deep down inside, they know, they're like, okay, we're up against it with these guys. This is going to be a mission and a half for us. So that was cool to see with Jimmy Butler. First of all, Myron chimes in with his second super chat of the day, and he says, "Oh, did you get my DM of Dave Grohl and Nandi video with his daughters? He just rocks. He made the song with his daughters in the chorus vocals." Yeah, I saw it, dude. It was awesome. I appreciate you, Myron. I'm so sorry. It's that on that DM I got the last couple of days, I've gotten so many, and I went through a whole bunch of them, so I'm sorry I didn't get back to you. But thank you, as always. A bunch of you out there that are always looking for music things. Super Boom Shack does it. I mean, Super Boom Shack is sending me something about music like every other day on the DM. Kenneth Cleveland chimes in on the super chat. Big O, Julius 305, Gus 1388, and Man of 1005 holds. I'm sending the stretch to pick you guys up. Bill will be driving. Make sure you tip well. That's Kenneth in Cleveland. Julius 305 chimes in with a super chat.
I know that, dude. Where'd you get this?
Super chats.
Oh, gnarly.
Awesome! Totally awesome!
All right, and then Julius says, dressed and ready at Kenneth Cleveland. Then Julius 305 follows up with another super chat. You mean taxi F-bomb dropping driver Bill? And then Kenneth Cleveland chimes in with another super chat. And he says, put on your best gear, boys. Going to be a long night with the ladies and them Dade County goons. All right, so Louis Bryant is in the ATL. He says, I'm checking in. Sorry I'm late to the party. How about our Miami Heat? They are bam-tastic. Nice.
Man, you better quit playing with these Miami goons from the Dade County.
That's
and
right.
expose them. UD over there, the cap, the OG, Rick Rose, Boss, Big Perk called this, I'm telling y'all.
Alexis says, Big O, have you seen the Tua documentary? I loved it. What a fine young man, excited for a future. Of course. I have. I've watched it. Again, I tell you all the time about Tua. Tua is just like Russell Wilson and Tim Tebow. And Derek Jeter, too. There are these guys that you, like, admire and they piss you off. But in a good way. What I mean is you admire because they're awesome, they handle everything the right way, and they piss you off because you know you can't do that either. Most of us will lose our cool, we won't do something right, all of that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, it's amazing. Yeah, I can't wait for Tua to start, man. I can't wait for Tua to take over this franchise and lead them in a direction that we all know that they're going to go in, So I'm just as excited as you are. When you see that video, you get even more excited, Mauricio Bautista says, Kendrick is having a case of foot and mouth syndrome. He's got to learn about the heat again. No, it's maybe this is what he is. Okay? Maybe that's why he was in the minors. And maybe he just had his little run of 2 months, like he did the first 2 months of the season, and he can never be that guy again. He did hit a 3 early in the game, and I go, whoa, wait a minute. And he shot, and no. And after that, it was like, yeah, no, it's back to, maybe Kendrick, that's what he is. Maybe what happened this year was his pinnacle. He wins, rookie of the, gets on the all-rookie team, ends up second place in the voting, and that's the pinnacle of his career, and he becomes a journeyman from here on out. That's it. He had a hot streak for 2 months, and it was over. I think those of you that have followed the show over the years, my saying, any professional can have a good day, a good week, a good month, and even a good year. It's can you do it over and over and over again? That's when we find out if you're the guy. But if you've reached the NBA or the NHL or Major League Baseball or the NFL, you can beat Derek Anderson for a year, and then you'll never do it again, and you'll get your big contract. You can be Brady Anderson and hit 51 home runs, and then you never do it again. You know what I mean? Even though if you cheated and everything to get there, whatever. You had your moment. You can, all of you out there can come up with a guy that came in for a month or two or half a season or whatever, the second half of the season, came in, tore it up, and never did it again for your team. Everybody knows it. Everybody has seen it. You all are experienced enough. You've watched enough sports to see those players come and go. So really the question is Kendrick Nunn a flash in the pan, or is he really a kid that has the goods? And that's what we're going to find out, because soon enough, he's going to get passed up by somebody next year. They're not going to tolerate what happened with Kendrick Nunn from January on ever again. It'll be somebody like Gabe Vincent or somebody else. We'll take his spot next year. This year, he's in the mix. They're going to give him some opportunities, all of that. They certainly needed him yesterday with Duncan, having the foul trouble, and it's not like he really was a difference maker yesterday. I did, you got to admit, when he hit that 3, you thought of me. Right, Bill? When Kendrick Nunn hit the 3 early in the game, you thought of me?
You know what? I did. It was like,
right?
Prove him wrong. Prove him wrong.
Yeah, exactly. I was hoping that would be the case because, it's been months now. But unfortunately, it's not. So we're going to find out. Next year, we'll find out about Kendrick Nunn. The next couple of weeks isn't going to tell us anything. It's just going to continue what he's done. But can he find his way? Because they will not tolerate this much longer into next season. He will have to work on his shot in the offseason and work on his confidence and find it again and see if he can, because if he can't, it gets to a point where you don't want Kendrick Nunn out there anymore. That's all I'm saying. Because he is a liability as a shooter now, unfortunately.
First team, all rookie, and he's a liability for us.
Because
he made
it on 2 months.
I'm saying, though.
Because he made it on 2 months. He made it on the first couple months of the season, and then after that, he was really mediocre as a shooter. He did some other things, and he kept him around. But
how many of our Heat guys have we seen improve their shot while they're here? I have
Tons.
I have
Tons.
hope. I have hope for Nunn.
He should.
Unfortunately, he's showing what he is, man. He's a baby. You know.
Yeah.
It's and the stage. There's only one stage bigger than this, and that's the finals.
I don't, and I don't think it's about the stage in his case because he's been stinking it out for months. He still plays defense. He still will assist. He still plays
Typical
hard.
Heat player.
Right, he still plays
you
hard.
in the box.
Right, he still plays hard in all the other areas. It's not like Nunn is a slacker. Nunn's not slacking. It's just he sucks with his shot. That's all. That's it. But he has sucked with his shot for months now. It's not about the stage because then he would be turning over the ball, playing poor defense, not finding the open man. He's doing all those.
So
other
let me
things.
ask you right now where you're at with. You want a guy to keep shooting. You don't want him to get gun shy.
Right.
But is right now because of what it's about, man. We're talking about getting to the finals.
You got no
then
choice
maybe
now.
you maybe back him off a little bit on the shot.
You can't do that to him, and
Right.
that's not. Spo doesn't do that to his players.
No, he doesn't.
So I think it's just they're going to fight through it, and they're going to hope that he can somehow
shoot his way through, like they say.
Yes, that's it. That's it. And if he can't, then next year is when the tough decisions will be made. Okay? Let's see. I'm just checking something here.
Do you want to change gears a little bit?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's change a little football now because the head coach of the Miami Dolphins addressed the Meteors this morning. And, we like to play those press conferences for you and then break it down like nobody can. So let's hear from the head coach of your Miami Dolphins as Mr. Brian Flores addressed the media.
Flo, good morning. You got a stretch of 2 games here in the next, I guess, nine days or so. Has there any thought of possibly sitting Devante out the next 2 games to nurse his hamstring injury, or are you guys going to try to manage this to see if he can go on Sunday?
Well, we're just taking it one day at a time. I've been rehabbing. He's been getting treatment, so we'll see what this looks like today. And, instead of making a decision for the next, 2 games, we'll just try to take it, one day at a time. And, sometimes guys turn around quickly. If it takes more time, then that's what it is. We'll just try to make the best decision for Devante and obviously for the team.
Now remember, what he's doing there is he's going to try to keep Buffalo a little off balance because Buffalo doesn't know if he's going to play or not. My professional opinion here on this, okay, from experience, Devante Parker has no shot at playing this week. Okay? It's an injury-prone player that already had a hamstring injury going into that game. It was already kind of sore, and then he aggravates it in the game. You're going to rest him for a couple of days and then play him again? That's not going to happen. Devante Parker will be out for this game against the Bills, and Fitz and company will have to adjust. Preston Williams, you're in your second year. The tough part for that kid is he's coming off a knee injury, and he is not going to be himself until next year, okay? But he's got to fight through the dead leg at times that he's going to have because he's not going to be 100%. He's going to have good days, and he's going to have bad days because that leg is not 100%. It's what we talk about with Tua. You want to give Tua the proper time to heal so he will be better prepared to take hits and to be able to get up. But if it's not completely healed and then he starts taking hits, that will become a problem. With Devante Parker, you don't want this hamstring injury to last all year long. My guess, okay, I'm not giving you any inside information. I'm just telling you what my guess is, and from experience, I believe Parker doesn't play at all this week. I think it's really smart to keep him out. It sucks against Buffalo because they got a killer defense, and it's going to be a bitch to score on them. But still, I think you have to rest him and give him an extra week and hope in 2 or 3 weeks you can get him back and keep him on the field. Go ahead with Brian Flores.
Hey guys, you want to go and raise your hand? All right. Stop it again.
I'll go one more. All right. Flo, what did you think about how Tua processed, the game from the sideline with Fitz and listening with the hat on Sunday? Did you get any feedback from him after the game?
Yeah, we talked about, just the game and, from the sideline, what he saw. And I think he's tried to play every play in his own mind. So that experience was good. And, look, it's a different atmosphere. It was a different atmosphere for everyone, and no different for him. So, but it's his first game live look at a game from the sideline. And I thought he did well from that standpoint.
One more.
Good morning, Flo. Chan basically said that a lot of the base runs weren't as effective as you would hope. What were some of the issues? Was it just the defense that they were running, or just execution stuff?
We kind of made all the corrections from the game. I'm sure you're talking about Sunday. We made the corrections from those games. We kind of moved on to Buffalo. That's where our focus is. There were a lot of issues in the game. We're trying to get them all corrected, and we're going to go out and practice today and try to make those corrections, on the practice field. And we've moved on, and our focus is on the Bills. And this is, there's a lot to focus on there. I mean, they're a good team.
Alan?
Good morning, Brian. How much catching up would you say Bowden still has to do to get to a point where he's ready to contribute?
I mean, he's been here 2 weeks, 3 weeks, somewhere in there. So he's worked extremely hard. He's been meeting one-on-one with Grizz, trying to get caught up. But let's say when you're a rookie, you're young. I mean, you need reps. So we're trying to get him as many reps in practice as possible. But as far as getting caught up, there's going to be, I think at best for a young guy in that situation, a couple packages, a couple things that, he could feel comfortable doing, and then maybe you get him out there. But I'm not sure we're there yet, so we'll see.
Barry?
Hi, Brian. Couple of cornerback questions. How well equipped do you think Needham is in the slot at this point in your nickel packages? If you could talk about the choice to use Jamal Perry over Needham in that role, and also why did Ken Webster leave the practice squad?
Well, Ken, he had an opportunity to go to another team. He did that. We had a good conversation on that. He felt like it was best for him, and I support that decision. Nick Needham versus Jamal Perry. Well, Nick's practiced well. Jamal's practiced well. Nick spent a little bit more time on the perimeter over the course of training camp. Jamal was more inside. But, we have a lot of confidence in both guys. And obviously they'll both go out there and practice, compete this week, and we'll see how it goes.
When it comes to that decision there to go with Jamal over Nick, what I love about the coach is that he's going to give the guy that he feels is the best player the opportunity to play. And Nick Needham came out of nowhere last year. We all know that. And he kind of explained where one guy was more comfortable inside. So if you're using him in the nickel and dime packages, if he felt Jamal had the better hips and could change directions a lot easier. And I always remember when Pat Surtain was breaking in, and Pat did not play on the boundary at first. He had to play in the nickel package. But at first, he was behind Terrell Buckley too, right? And so they were using him at least in the nickel package. And I remember at times people were talking about, well, what happened with Madison? How come they don't try him there? and Madison wasn't suited to play inside. Whereas Surtain had the skill set that he could play inside and outside. And just because you're a boundary corner doesn't mean that just because you play on the outside, you can play in the inside. Because that receiver can turn you in either direction at any time. And you have to be fluid to be able to go one way or the other. And so if he feels Jamal is better suited for that position and that Nick Needham might be better suited to be a backup on the outside, then now you have your answer. You know what I mean? But in the end, was Nick, the whole thing, it's funny because when somebody explodes onto the scene, you had nobody on your team. So Nick was able to elevate himself because he didn't have a lot of competition. This year, I guess the team feels like they brought some competition in, which I love that because you're bringing in Tua for Rosen and you're not screwing around, and that's in every position. And in corner, you're bringing in somebody else, and then that somebody else did what Nick Needham did the year before. Nick Needham came out of nowhere and earned playing time. Jamal's doing the same now. So it's not really a controversy, okay? We're only in the beginning of year 2. We got a coach that's still figuring out all his players and their strengths. Go ahead, Bill. Go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, Flo, I wanted to ask just about the running back situation and how do you balance, wanting to use an explosive player more like Matt Breida, incorporating him more into the play calling while also rewarding a player like Myles Gaskin, who's had a very good camp and continues to practice well?
We try to play the guys who are productive and who go in and give you positive plays and but we're game plan specific, and the guys we feel like are give us the best chance to have a productive play or a productive series or best in the situation. Those are the guys who we're going to stick in the game, and that's offensively, defensively, in the kicking game. And it's really it's specific to the play, specific to the situation. But the guys who are in there and are productive, I'll say more times than not, we're going to continue to play.
So it's just what I told you before with Needham and Jamal, right? That it's who he feels is better. And so now, and I love the way Tolentino asked the question because Tolentino didn't ask the question like, why aren't you playing Breida? He asked, hey, what is your philosophy on rewarding a guy like Gaskins who's been playing and practicing really well to a guy like Breida who is a speedster and a guy that you need, you want to, put in your offense. And in the end, the coach says there are two things in there in those comments. We're scheme specific. So from one game to another, depending on the kind of defense you're facing or offense, they are going to use different players for different skill sets. Okay? So clearly he felt Gaskins was better suited for this one. And then on top of all of that, he then said, we're going to play the guys that are playing the best. And I guess because Matt Breida's established, because he's had some success, because you traded for him and you gave up a 5th rounder, you assume that Myles Gaskins is not worth as much. But this is a team that is going to bring in competition. They don't care if they currently have somebody. They'll bring somebody else in at that same position because they want to make that position even better by competition or by depth. And that's why I told you on Monday that the Myles Gaskins success should not be viewed as some kind of a controversy with Breida. It should be viewed as a hell of a positive for the Dolphins. Because if you can count on Breida, now you know you can also count on Gaskins. That tells me you have more depth now. And then Jordan Howard will not be used the way you use Breida and the way you use Gaskins. And those two guys cannot do some of the things that Jordan Howard's going to do on 4th and 1 and goal line situations. You want Jordan Howard being the hammer in those situations. Those guys aren't hammers. Everybody's got a role. There's a reason. There's a rhyme and a reason to what they're doing. Go ahead, Bill. Go ahead.
Joe Shad.
Good morning, Flo. I wanted to ask you about Xavier. How is he feeling having played in the first game? How did he come out of that?
I think he came out well. it's good to get in there, get some snaps. It's been a while since he played, so he came out well. Thought he did some good things, and we'll continue to move him along and get him more reps this week and see how it goes.
Omar?
Let me tell you something. That's a really important question by Joe Shad, because it's Wednesday, okay? And I don't mean that anything by Wednesday, that, hey, I'm telling you it's Wednesday. What I mean is you played on Sunday. You're now 3 days removed from that. And here's a guy that's been rehabbing, had to come back from COVID too. They had him out there practicing for a couple of weeks before he ended up playing, and he played the game. And it's really important to find out where he is a couple of days later, because that's when all the soreness steps in. You guys know it. Everybody that has worked out, you injure yourself, whatever. A couple of days later is when you start to feel everything, right? You know what I mean? And yeah, exactly. So you're on a Wednesday.
Day 2, ouch.
Yeah, so you're on a Wednesday from Sunday, so you're several days out. So it's good to hear from the coach that X is feeling good playing that game, okay? And listen, that's going to be one of the positives of this team is that secondary. That secondary is going to fuel what they do up front in that front seven. They are going to help that front seven be a lot better. So it's really good news to hear that X is not feeling anything on a Wednesday playing from a Sunday for the first time. Go ahead, Bill.
I want to ask you about the receivers that the Bills have. The boundary guys didn't get challenged much against New England. I'm assuming you expect a little bit more action on the outside this week.
Oh yeah, these are. This is a very good group of receivers. It's a really good overall offense. Receivers, backs, tight ends, O-line, Diggs, John Brown, Beasley. This is probably as good a group as there is around the league. So this will be a great challenge for us, as a defense, to go along with the quarterback and his ability to scramble, his ability to fire the ball down the field. He's been more accurate. They pose a lot of issues. So we've got to do a great job with our communication. We've got to do a great job with our fundamentals technique. We've got to do a great job across the board to try to limit this offense, but they're good.
Adam?
Fitz throughout his career has had good games, he's had bad games like any player. In your conversation with him this week, what makes you confident he's going to bounce back and have a good game this week?
He's a competitive player. That's what makes me confident. He's a competitor. He's had success in this league. He's bounced back before, and like you said, and hopefully this is just played a tough game. I think everyone feels like they could have played better. Feels like it could have been better last week. So we just go back to the drawing board, go back to work, do a good job in the meetings and the walkthroughs and the practice, and try to be better this week. And that's Fitz. That's everyone else on the team as well. So myself included. And I have confidence that he'll play well, and the entire team will do everything they can to play well this week.
How?
Wanted to get your take on Brandon Jones and the game he had Sunday, what you saw in film of him, and if you think he can continue to have such an active role in the defense.
I thought he, his first time out, I thought he played well. I thought he tackled well. He showed good speed. A lot of things we saw in training camp. This kid's fast. He's aggressive. He tackles well. It wasn't perfect by any stretch of the imagination. There were some plays that I know he wishes he had back that we talked about on the sideline. And I would say they were in some of the critical moments of the game. Hopefully he learns from them. It's every play for these young guys, it's a learning experience, and he comes out and plays a little bit better this next week.
Joe?
Flo, when I watched the Bills game on Sunday, I noticed that the quarterback, Allen, fumbled twice. I'm just curious, what's the approach you want your players to take relative to just get the guy on the ground versus here's an opportunity to strip?
I think that's something that's talked about extensively, really on every team. You want to tackle well, you want to get them on the ground. There are opportunities. If there's an opportunity to knock the ball off, when to take those opportunities, and that's for anyone who's played, it's do I try to knock it out? Do I make the tackle? If I knock it out, or don't knock it out and miss the tackle, then I'm going to get yelled at. If I
everybody teaches it,
knock it out, then I'm everyone's favorite player. You know what I mean? That's kind of the conundrum every player's in. At the end of the day, we got to be a good tackling team. We got to try to limit yards. We want to try to force turnovers.
Every team does this.
And some players more numbers
every team teaches it
when that opportunity presents itself.
Every player tries.
They take advantage of it when they.
Every coach wants you to try.
Itself. So we've got to, and we practice it every day, and we try to. Show them instances where those opportunities present themselves and when to try to take advantage. And hopefully we get some opportunities to do that, and we can knock the ball off a couple guys.
What's he going to say? No, we don't care about it.
One more, we'll go to Omar.
We never want our players to try to knock the ball out.
I want to ask you about Jakeem. Obviously, with Devante not being completely healthy, Jakeem will get a lot of reps in practice. Do you have to have a Jakeem package, or do you look at him as just a normal flanker?
He's going to tell you.
Yeah, he's a receiver. And receivers, they got to really get good releases. They got to do a good job with their route technique. They got to do a good job at the top of the route. They've got to recognize coverages. Is it man? Is it zone? So, there's no package. A receiver is a receiver is a receiver. Some guys are, Jakeem's an explosive guy, so you want to try to get him on some things where he's on the move and can make people miss. So, but yeah, we see him as a receiver. That's his position. He's a receiver. He's a returner. No package. We just run the plays, and if it's a post, he's running a post. If it's a slant, he's running a slant. If it's an out route, he's running an out route. And, if he's open, we try to get it to him.
Listen, no coach is going to tell you, well, no, he's a specialist, and we'll only have a couple package for him, and that's when we're going to use him because then you give it away to the other team. They're not going to tell you Jordan Howard sucks at pass catching. No, Jordan Howard's a good running back. He's going to help us in many areas. He's going to run the ball hard for us. We'll pass it to him when we can. They're not going to tell you, when we have Jordan Howard in the game, we're not really going to pass a lot to him. They're not going to tell you that, okay? Even though Jordan Howard is a specialist, even though Jakeem Grant is a specialist, the coach is not going to tell you that. So I get what Omar was trying to get to, but there was no way that he was actually going to give it away like that about Jakeem Grant. But he will become a bigger part of the offense now that you have lost, Devante Parker here. Probably for a couple of weeks. That should end up becoming one hell of a challenge for this football team. So there is the head coach, and I think his name is Brian Flores. Yeah, right? Yeah, Brian. Okay. It is 2:00. Let's do this. Let's take 2:04. Let's take a quick break here. We'll come back on the other side. Give me a couple minutes to recharge. We got a bunch of things. I got a couple of football things I want to get to, a couple of basketball things I want to get to, a couple of funny things I want to get to, a serious thing I want to get to. Seriously stupid. That's what it is. It's seriously stupid. I got music stuff also I want to get to. Plenty. And that's coming next right here from VSS West Pines, 12397 Pembroke Road. Tell them that Big O sent you. They'll take care of you. VSSWestPines.com. Hey, it's Big O. For all of your family dental needs, please reach out to Moody's Dental. I've known Eric for a while, a big fan of our show. Call him at 305-821-0231. Whether it's you or your kids that need some dental help, whether it's implants, Invisaligns, they are the experts. Or if you're just looking to fill a cavity or clean your teeth, or maybe even get a crown, you are going to love the professionalism, the family-like atmosphere. And of course, when you talk about being clean, that's what it's all about in today's society. You are going to go to an extremely clean place. Go to moody'sdental.com, go to the website, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Moody's Dental. Tell them that Big O sent you, 305-821-0231, or go to moody'sdental.com.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com. A travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opa-locka, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
Hey, it's Big O. For all of your CBD, THC, or hookah needs, you got to get on down to VSS West Pines at 12397 Pembroke Road. Yes, they have got legal THC. You've got to check it out. And they've got, of course, when it comes to CBD, flower, tinctures, edibles, for all kinds of reasons, whether it's pain, stress, anxiety, you name it. And don't forget, when you mention my name, you'll get 20% off. Tell the boys out there that I told you to get on down to VSS West Pines, 12397 Pembroke Road, and call them 954-613-3367. Legal THC, CBD, all of your hookah needs. You go to VSS West Pines.
It's a buyer's market at Toyota of Hollywood. Over 1,500 Toyotas on the ground, and truckloads just keep on coming. Now pay up to 50% less. 2020 Camry, not $29,000, $17,775. 2020 Corolla, not $22,000, $13,775. Buy a new 2020 Toyota with zero down and 0% financing, or we'll make your payments till 2021. At Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street.
This is the Big O Show.
All right, we're back.
This is the Big O
Coming to you live from VSS West Pines, 12397 Pembroke Road. Come on out, baby. Come on, join us. We'll be out here. I'll be out here at least about another hour, and then we're out of here. Then I got to go all the way down to Coral Gables for a meeting.
You said the magic word.
Meeting?
That's it.
Yeah.
It's on. The onslaught.
Julius305 just sent in a super chat to start the segment. He says, congrats on your first year podcast. Count on my continued support. Thank you, my brother. Thanks to all of you out there. So many people. Obviously, if we got to 2 million downloads, there's a lot of people downloading the show. I can't thank all of you out there. Most of you are quiet behind the scenes. You know what I mean? Our most visible supporters are the ones that obviously are on the YouTube chat board every single day, watching the show when they can. And I will get a listen live button soon. Just got to get a couple more sponsors on track, and then we'll be fine. By the way, Matthew Walker says he doesn't. Talking about Jakeem, he doesn't need to be a big-time receiver. Keep him as a kick returner and a change-of-pace receiver. 1,000%, I'm with you. 1,000%. But the coach is not going to tell you that. He doesn't want to sell that to the other team, and he doesn't want to sell it to the player and say, you're limited. This is all I think of you. Because the player is always going to think more of himself. And he's going to think that I can contribute in many areas. And Jakeem, in his mind, will probably think I can be an every down receiver. But you can't take that away from him if you're the coach. So that's why when, Omar asked it, I knew he wasn't going to get that answer because there's no way the coach ever answers it that way. You know what I mean? So that's why I brought it up. Now, Matthew says Omar has never liked Jakeem. He thought 19 didn't belong in the NFL. And Grant has proved Omar wrong. And you're right, because I had that conversation with Omar a couple of years back on the radio. He gave up on Jakeem. I said, dude, you can't give up on Jakeem. He goes, he can't catch the ball. And I said, Omar, he caught 90 balls in college. You know, he can catch the. You don't catch 90 balls in college if you can't catch. Okay, if you can't catch, they won't throw it to you anymore. They're not going to throw it to you so you can catch 90 balls and have you allow you to drop 180. You know what I mean? So I told him you got to have patience. And year one was rough for him, and he blew up in year two. And I know last year he had some injuries, but it's still not fair to him. He's a good player, man, and he can add a lot to this team. I'm a Jakeem Grant fan. That's all I can tell you. I like him. I think he can play. I really do. And I think he's one of the best returners in the NFL. And I think that, and I'm with Matthew Walker, that as a complimentary receiver, not the main guy, I don't even want him as a number 3. I want him as my number 4. Perfect number 4. Okay?
Like you pointed out, you got to use him the right way.
Right.
And not overuse him. You got to factor in his size.
The Jets.
And set up plays that he's not taking the hits and things like we talked about yesterday, you know?
The Jets had a guy about 15 years ago. His name is Dedrick Ward. And I liken Jakeem a lot to the way they were using Dedrick Ward as the 3rd, 4th guy, as the complimentary guy, as the speed guy that comes in that the 4th corner is going, oh, crap, I got to cover that guy? I got to stay with that guy? I can't stay with that guy. That's what I want. That's what I want. And but now and you're getting there. You know, unfortunately, the Albert Wilson and Alan Hearns, you know, take a step back, hurt because that was your 3rd guy, right? Those guys would all been battling to be the number 3 guy, and then Jakeem can be the 4th. You know, Isaiah Ford now is going to be that guy. Use him as your 3rd guy, the slot guy, the possession guy, Preston and Devante on the outsides, and Jakeem your 4th guy. That's the way I would use him. Or if Malcolm Perry elevates himself, then I use Malcolm Perry as my 3rd guy, and I use Jakeem as my occasional 4th guy. That he becomes a complete mismatch when he's out there. 4th corner's got to cover Jakeem. I like my chances 100% of the time. Not 10% of the time. Not 50. Not 70. 100% of the time. I get Jakeem out there matched up against their 4th corner, and he is toast. That's how I would use him. But, you know, it is what it is. Do you think the Heat will be able to re-sign Crowder? I think Dragon will stay on an inflated 1-year deal. These 2 guys have been keys to our success. You know, Crowder's moved around a lot. And the Heat has a way that if they want you, they, you know, maybe you do a 1-year deal also with him where you wink, wink, and all that stuff. Now, here's the question I have for you guys. If this offseason sucks for free agents, and then you've got to wait 2 years down the line, what is Bam and Hero by then? Do you really need that other star? Do you need to tie yourself to a contract that maybe might be a little risky? Because if Bam continues at this trajectory, and so does Tyler, a year from now, we're talking about an all-star and a superstar. Again, if they continue on the trajectory, Tyler's an all-star. And Bam's already an all-star, and he's making superstar plays now. So do you really need to save all that space, or do you just re-sign your own guys? And you go over the cap with your own guys? You know, a couple years ago, they took a chance, and it was a terrible chance, and they re-signed a whole bunch of journeymen, and it didn't work out. Well, maybe this time around it will work out, because this time around, Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero and even Duncan Robinson are way better than all those guys that we talked about. So maybe you don't have to save all that cap space for a guy down the – maybe you already have him. Maybe what you're adding another year from now, or 2 years from now, are important key role players. That's maybe what you're adding. But maybe you're better off just paying the guys you currently have and try to keep those guys. I think a guy like Crowder wants to be here. You notice how he's become a better three-point shooter here? Because he was never this good. I was telling my wife this yesterday because she was watching, and she's like, man, he has been good. And I go, yeah, but normally he's not that good. You know, he's a mediocre three-point shooter, and so is Jimmy Butler. And somehow or another, they're both hitting three-point shots like they never have in their career.
That Marquette connection, brother, right?
That's what I'm saying.
Our three, Wade, him, Butler, and
but
he
might be so comfortable here that he's going to say, you know, yeah, man, I'll sacrifice a little bit here. I'll stay here. I'll sign a one-year deal, and then I'll sign a multi-year deal after that and stay here. Why not? I like it here. I want Jay Crowder here.
Oh, yeah.
Jay Crowder is one of those players that you need on every team. Okay? He's the James Posey. He's the Keith Askins. He's the trying to think of another one of those all-everything type of guys that help you in everything and don't say anything, and they're just phenomenal work ethic guys. I think we've had another guy. I'm trying to think of one more in that Posey, Keith Askins role. That
Horace Grant, maybe?
No, but I mean for us, for the Heat. I'm talking about Posey was one of our guys during that 06 run.
Yeah.
Askins was also that kind of guy. There's one more.
Grant Long.
Yeah.
Grant Long, just whatever you needed, man. He filled that need that night in the box.
Yeah. He's just not not a three guy.
No.
I'm talking about a 3 and D.
Yeah, but the 3 game.
The 3
it's
and D
not
guy.
what it used to be. You know what?
That's what I'm saying. That now there's one. I think there's one more guy. I'm forgetting that.
The way Grant Long was, if the game was like it is today, do you think that Grant Long would be?
Marley was my other guy.
Yes, would be a
Marley
3-point shooter though.
Yeah.
The way he worked, that guy would practice shooting threes.
He would, but I
you know what I'm saying though.
Yeah, but
that guy was a worker. Bro.
Yeah. But Grant wasn't an outside shooter. That wasn't his strength.
I know.
That wasn't his strength.
He would try. He would work.
But I'm saying 3 and D. Marley, Posey, Askins, and now this guy. And so it's kind of that. Bruce Bowen, nice job.
Bruce, yes.
Nice job, Mike Gomez. You're a stud, dude. You know what? Manzano and Mike Kennedy are right, too, and so is Antonio. Shane Battier, 3 and D. Nice job by you guys. Thank you so much for helping us out there. See?
You know what's...
Teamwork, baby.
You know what's a thought that I...
Love you.
We're so ahead of where we're supposed to be right now, and obviously this playoff experience and whatnot, and obviously the free agent. Yeah, everybody looks at the other teams and whatnot. I was thinking of us being like in a position like Duke, North Carolina, and Kentucky with the free agent pool, how they are with the McDonald's All-American pool, and being selective because you have all of them wanting to come to you. If we get to the finals, we're so far ahead, and those guys, you know what I mean, that where do I'm gonna go to win? Right. And we may have so many of them that we are able to work the money in our favor. Like, you want to be here? Well, this guy's willing to take. You know what I'm saying? Because of where we're at right now, we're easy a year, maybe 2 years ahead of schedule.
Oh yeah. Well, because these guys are growing faster than what we expected.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And we may
especially Tyler.
Like I said,
That's your first year.
We may be like Kentucky and hey, we got the number 2 and 3, 4 player in the country.
Yep.
I don't need number 5 and 6. Sorry, we could be selective on the free agent market.
Yeah, nice job by you, Ohio John. Jakeem reminds me of Dante Hall, the former Chief. Yeah, I like that. I like that comparison. It's a good comparison. Anthony Manzano says, who do you think is going to be the top of the Marlins rotation down the road? Big O, my top 3 are Sixto, Edward Cabrera, and Alcantara. I like that. Maybe Alcantara in front of Cabrera, but I think that's well, Sixto's number 1, bro. like Sixto is like, you have to watch his outings. That's it. That is must-see TV, okay? And if there's a Heat game on, please make sure you're recording Sixto's outings. That's if you're if you like baseball and you're a Marlins fan, okay? I'm just saying, Sixto is, wow. That's stuff you got to see. Let's see. Who do you want the Heat to draft in 2020 NBA draft? So you want them to drop the guard, forward, or center? Huh? You're talking to some Omar? Okay, I don't. Now you guys get into your own conversations, and then I have no idea. Let's see. What else do we have here on the chat board? Well, you know what? Let me get to some of the stuff that I do want to talk about here on the show, because we do have several things that that I want to get to. And if you want to get in, you can also reach out to us on the text line, 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. Did you see that the Braves laid off a whole bunch of employees? And I'm not sure if you guys saw this, but the Atlanta Braves announced major layoffs across the franchise on Tuesday. It's the reality that's hit a number of Major League Baseball teams this year due to the COVID-19 pandemic, shortening the 2020 season and slashing revenues. Unfortunately, the Braves announced their layoffs in a really just a disgusting way. And I want you to listen to the statement of them. Remember, they released several employees, right? So this is how they addressed the company and publicly and everybody and all the changes that they had to make. Are you ready for this? The Atlanta Braves have completed a reorganization of full-time staff spread across all areas of the organization, including our baseball, business, real estate development, and minor league operations. We believe now is the right time to manage our business with greater efficiency, which has been accelerated due to the significant financial impact of COVID-19. We are grateful to those affected for their time spent with the Braves and believe, though it was a difficult decision, we are now optimized to manage through this period. Well, I'm so glad you had to fire a whole bunch of people to become optimized. How about just apologizing to all the people that you had to release and then say, this hurts us. It really hurts us to have to put people out of work at this time of need, and we apologize profusely. We hope to be able to expand back to normal again down the line. Not say, hey, we're really happy after firing 150 people that now we feel like we can run our organization and actually make money. We're optimized.
Forget your financial position.
Yeah.
Our financial position's good because we let you go.
That's right.
Have a nice day. Don't let the door hit you in the ass.
That's right. 150 people that got fired are no longer optimized either, because their lives are upside down. And instead of just, which I got to tell you something. I find it disgusting that any pro team releases employees. Those people make so much. They've been making money hand over fist for 100 years. And now you hit a bump in the road and you can't at least keep your employees and take a loss you could easily absorb. You know, maybe Major League Soccer can't absorb it. But the NBA, and you know what, and the NHL is also to a certain extent probably not the richest league in the world. But Major League Baseball, NBA, and NFL, they have no reason to not fire. They have no reason to fire one employee. Not one. Unless, you know, the employee's an idiot or a moron or whatever, and we do have one like that coming up in a second. But I'm just saying, it's just that you make so much money, dude. So what are you losing? $1 million in employee salaries right now? Come on. With the TV money and everything that you've made over the years, take a loss, bro. Don't put people out of work. And then don't put out a release like, well, now that we've let go people, now we feel we're optimized.
Hey, is your financial situation worse? Guess what? Ours is better because we let you go. See ya.
I mean, give me a break, dude. Saw that story and it was like,
that's pretty classless.
Can you be any more disgusting? At least, dude, just apologize profusely that you had to release and how tight it is and how tough. Don't go giving great news after you release somebody or people. In Chicago, they fired a radio host. And I'm glad that they fired this idiot, Dan McNeal of Chicago's 670 The Score. So The Score is now washing its hands of Dan McNeal after his tweet on Maria Taylor. Now, for me personally, I have dealt with Maria Taylor several times. Let me tell you something about Maria Taylor. Maria Taylor is one of the nicest people you will ever meet. She is as professional as it gets, okay? I've seen a lot of beautiful women in sports, hot-looking women, all right? And they use their sexuality to their advantage, to climb the ladder in sports, to climb the ladder in the business, all that stuff. Maria Taylor never uses her sexuality and her looks, and she can, because she's damn good looking, okay? And so she is as pro as it gets, and I'm telling you because I used to go every year to the SEC Media Days. Maria Taylor was working for the SEC Network at those days. So we would bring her on every year for a segment. And I watched her, you know what I mean, away from our table and doing things and all that. And she was never the person that is trying to coax the player or somebody for an interview, trying to be cute, trying to be sassy. You know, like I've seen women that use their looks. This is a true professional that works at her job, okay? She's one of the women that I actually respect in this business because she's a pro's pro. She actually watches the games. She actually works hard. She's not there to be a pretty face, even though she is, okay? And so I was pissed when I saw those comments from Dan McNeal because you sounded like an old white racist dude. Okay? That's what it sounded like. Old white and racist is what it came out like. So he tweeted out, let's see, what's it called here? Where is it? He basically said that she had to be, focusing on, let me give you his exact tweet here, because this is the apology. No, not the apology. This is the fired one. And so I had this story yesterday, and he wasn't fired at that moment. So I did not, I didn't get to it, unfortunately. I could not get to it yesterday, and then overnight, he ends up getting fired. Let me see here. Here we go. Here it is. There we go. All right, longtime Chicago radio host Dan McNeal made an ill-advised remark about ESPN Maria Taylor during Monday night's Pittsburgh Steelers-Giants game. Taylor was reporting from the sideline during Monday Night Football broadcast when she was shown at one point. McNeal sent a tweet indicating her outfit would be more appropriate for adult film awards adult awards shows. So it says NFL sideline reporter or a host of AVN annual awards presentation. Maria Taylor then tweeted back, said, well, Danny dearest, if you would like to continue making sexist comments about me, please bring your misogyny with you to the NBA Countdown doubleheader. I'll be hosting tomorrow night. Hey, ladies, remember, you can wear whatever you feel confident in. So, obviously, it went viral. So, Intercom ends up firing him. And so it says, for each one of us, our words have power. Rachel Williamson from Intercom Chicago said, for our brand and our on-air personalities, that is amplified and brings increased responsibility in how we choose to use our voices. Last night's tweet and its degrading and humiliating tone to a fellow female broadcaster was unacceptable. We have the best teams in Chicago, and we must hold ourselves to high expectations to continue to be leaders in our organization, our industry, and our community. We apologize to all who were offended by Dan's words, especially Maria. So McNeal now has been fired, okay? I haven't seen an apology from the guy, and I got to tell you something. I don't feel sorry for his ass at all. At this point in time, in the world that we live in, You can't say those kind of things anymore. Okay? 10 years ago, he gets away with it. 20 years ago, people are laughing. 30 years ago, tons of people are joining in and saying the same smart-ass comments. One, he doesn't know who she is. Okay? He doesn't know her work ethic. He doesn't know that she's professional. And so now he makes these kind of comments, and a person like me that actually has dealt with this young woman and knows that she's a pro, that she doesn't use her looks or anything to gain anything. She just happens to be a very good-looking woman. Okay, good for her. But she's a hell of a pro. And to degrade somebody like that, look, I get it, man. There are women out there, and I've seen them, that they live on their looks, they don't really do our jobs, and they're there just to be a piece of ass, okay? I'm sorry, but that's the case. It happens. Yes, we do that. We do it on some of these guy shows where you want the kid you want the girl with the big boobs and, you know, showing the product or whatever, and guys love that stuff. Okay, I get it. But Maria's not that person, man. And to say that about her, I got no problem with this guy, Dan McNeal, getting fired. None whatsoever. It's just a disgusting way of approaching all of this. And I'm glad she also stood up for herself, and it was cool to watch the rest of the broadcast community get behind her also. And anybody that's dealt with her, they know what I'm talking about because they know that she's a good person. All right, 786-322 1105. If you want to get in on the program, that's 786-322-1105. Anthony Manzano says, Big O, what would you give up in a trade for Odell Beckham? There you go. Anthony Manzano is obviously new to the show and new on the chat board. Would you
give up a number 2?
No, I'll do a number 2.
No, that's what he likes. Give up a number 2.
That's right. Exactly.
Right on him.
Right it. That's it. That's what he wants. So we'll hire an IG model to drop a 2 on him, and then we're in.
He'll make his day, bro.
That would. And we're not shitting you about that. Matthew Walker says, don't forget the Lakers are applying for a COVID loan. Hey, listen, they can apply for the loan. I mean, Trump's giving money away to all these millionaire companies, so they're all going to take advantage of it. All these big-time companies all got loans from the government. I mean, what are you going to do? I don't blame the Lakers for that. If you can file for it and they're giving it to you, take it. What I do now, are the Lakers firing employees? If they're not, then I'm good with that. Okay? Take the money if you want. It's available to everybody. You know, not that they need it, but it's available. So what are you going to do? Just don't fire people if you're the Lakers. That's all. I don't mind. Take the money, but use it to pay your employees. Old corporations could care less about their workers. It's all about profits and greed. That's capitalism for you. You are correct, Troy. Hey, not to take you off track, isn't there an Inter-Miami game tonight? Nope. Saturday, baby. We have a week off. It's weird. It's funny that you said that because all the guys on my thread, Dono, Fernando Fiore, Chris Whittingham, Sean, Tito, all the guys that are in the broadcast booth, they're all like, hey, man, this is weird. We don't have a game today? Like, well, what's going on? You know? So I know Fernando Fiore is missing it because, and especially Thomas Rongen's missing it because we get free pizza, and he always wants pizza. You know, because they feed us at Inter, okay, when we do all our broadcasts. Just like Intercom used to feed us for every broadcast, too. Anyway, Troy Ortiz says, Maria Taylor is gorgeous. Yes, she is. No doubt about it. But she's a pro's pro, man. She's a pro's pro. I'm telling you, she works, okay? She's no phony, man. I have immense respect for Maria Taylor, man. I'm telling you. Radically says Cleveland Browns would have to give the Dolphins 2 first-rounders to get the Dolphins to take OBJ. Big O, it's amazing how this day people still are using the flag to see the real truth, boycotting football because they are kneeling and stuff like that. It's so ridiculous. all of that is ridiculous. You know why? It's like the guy that I had on Twitter on Sunday, and then it went viral. He goes to me, same old Dolphins. This is why I'm boycotting football. They're taking, and I go, well, dude, if you're boycotting, then why are you commenting? And he was asking me something else about the Dolphins. I'm like, why do you care? And then everybody picked up on that, and then they were slamming him. You know what I mean? And so, because the funny part is, all that kneeling stuff happened 4 years ago, and I'm giving up on football, and football is stronger than ever, and it's making plenty of money, and the ratings are through the roof. The people that get butt hurt, you're not making an impact whatsoever. You may think you're making an impact, but you're not. Okay? That sport is so strong that it picks up a whole bunch of new fans, too, every year. That's the part that some of the butthurt folks forget. You know what I mean? And like I tell all these people all the time, all the kneeling goes on before the game. So join it on kickoff, and you'll never have to deal with it or see it again if it, bothers you so much. So it's all good. All right, 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the program, that's 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the program, you can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Follow us there as always. Music news. I always love giving you some music stuff. Let's start off with birthdays. Today, 1925, on this date, B.B. King was born. The Beale Street Blues Boy was born on this date back in 1925. Unfortunately, we lost B.B. King recently, just a few years ago. May 14th in 2015, he passed away from a series of small strokes caused by type 2 diabetes. So passed away then about 5 years ago, and the great B.B. King. In 1950, on this date, David Bellamy from the Bellamy Brothers was born. Just let your love flow. And what is that?
Like a bird on a wing.
And let your love flow. There you go.
It's the smallest
Something
of
about
things.
a mountain stream or something like that?
Yes.
It's the season. There you go.
To be jolly?
Yes. I think it was I want to say let your love flow was in Little Darlings. I don't know. I think so. If I remember correctly. The girl that was battling Christy McNichol in that, she was kind of hot, if I remember correctly. As we drift. 1964, Dave Sabo was born. Not Chris Sabo from the Reds. No, Dave Sabo. And he's the guitarist from Skid Row. All right? There you go. And also, just a little note, he was the original lead guitarist for Bon Jovi. He played several local shows with them before Richie Sambora replaced him in 1983. Did you know that? Did you know that Dave Sabo was the original guitarist of Bon
I knew
Jovi?
that there was somebody before, but didn't know who it was.
That's right. Then he just ran away, and then they made Runaway. Okay, next up is 1979, Flo Rida. Tremar Laisel Dillard, rapper, was born on this date back in 1979. We know him as Flo Rida.
Like me some Flo Rida.
That's right. And in 1992, Nick Jonas was born on this date. Singer-songwriter with the Jonas Brothers. So there you go. That's some of the birthdays. Events in this date. First of all, we start off in 1967. Jimi Hendrix debut LP, Are You Experienced, came out on this date in 1967. It entered the Billboard Hot 200 album charts, where it stayed there for 106 weeks, including 77 weeks in the top 40. And in 2003, Rolling Stones magazine ranked it number 15 on their 500 greatest albums of all time. 2 years later, it was selected for permanent preservation in the National Recording Registry at the Library of Congress in the United States. In 1977, Mark Bolan former T-Rex lead singer, was killed instantly when the car driving by his girlfriend, Gloria Jones, left the road and hit a tree in Barnes, London. Miss Jones broke her jaw in the accident. The couple were on the way to Dolenz home in Richmond after a night out at the Mayfair restaurant. A local man who witnessed the crash said, "When I arrived, a girl was laying on the bonnet and a man with long, dark, curly hair was stretched out on the road. There was a hell of a mess." Scary. 1979, on this date, the Sugar Hill Gang's Rapper's Delight was released. While it was not the first single featuring rapping, it was generally considered to be the first song that popularized hip-hop in the United States around the world. The song's opening lyric, I said a hip, hop, the hippie to the hippie, the hip, hip, a hoppy. You don't stop rocking.
Well, I can remember.
The bang, bang, the boogie.
I can remember Y100 wouldn't even wait for the hour. It was being played like every 40, 45 minutes.
Yeah, for sure. In 1988, on this date, former Clash drummer Topper Headon was released from jail after serving 10 months of a 15-month sentence on narcotics charges. In 1996, a 21-year-old Ricardo Lopez was found dead in his Hollywood apartment after committing suicide. Before his death, Ricardo had mailed an acid bomb to Icelandic singer Bjork's London management. I guess he didn't like Bjork. Can I tell you? In 2004, Izora Armstead from the Weather Girls, It's Raining Men, died at the age of 62 on this date in 2004 from heart failure in San Leandro, East San Francisco. Also a member of the 2 Tons of Fun with Sylvester. All right? In 2009, Mary Travers from the folk trio Peter, Paul, and Mary passed away on this date after suffering from leukemia for several years. She was 72 years old. She was the lead vocal on the group's biggest hit in 1969, Leaving on a Jet Plane. In 2014, Ariana Grande was number 1 on the U.S. album charts with My Everything, the singer's second studio album, and the album debuted at number 1 in Australia and Canada and peaked in the top 10 in 20 countries worldwide. Okay, there we go. And thought I had one more here. I guess I screwed up. Let me see here.
You did? No.
Yeah, I guess
Really?
I guess I didn't save the page, and so I normally I save the page, but you know.
Hey, there's a lot going on, man.
Yeah, that's all right.
We have basketball, hockey, football, like.
No, but I got it.
You know,
1970 on this date, Jimi Hendrix made his last live appearance when he joined Eric Burdon and War on stage at London's Ronnie Scott Club. How cool is that? So Hendrix's last appearance ever on stage was with Eric Burdon and War. So a little Animals, a little War, a little Hendrix, and then that was the last time whoever was at Ronnie Scott Club in 1970 on this date saw the last live performance from Jimi Hendrix. And in 2006 on this date, REM was inducted into the Georgia Music Hall of Fame in Atlanta's.
Could you see him doing the Cisco Kid?
Oh yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Man,
that would be interesting right there. I got a really cool story that I can tell you guys. Oh man, wait a minute here. Okay, I just want to make sure I don't screw up this. Okay, here we go. Yeah, no, because I just did something that I wasn't supposed to do, and erased something I wasn't supposed to erase off my computer there. Anyway, Mickey Dolenz was with the Monkees, right? And for those of you that don't know the Monkees, I'm sorry if you're a little too young, but he was one of the lead singers for the Monkees. So Mickey Dolenz's fame came all from the Monkees and the sitcom and all that stuff. It ran from 66 to 68. All right, now that was one of his, famous TV roles. Now, things could have worked out differently for him after all of that. Why? Because he almost became the Fonz in Happy Days. Did you know that? The Mickey Dolenz almost became the Fonz. Yep.
No.
Henry Winkler eventually won the role of Happy Days in 1974 that it ran for 11 seasons. The show's creator, Gary Marshall, chose the actor, whittling it down to a number of other options. His final decision was between Winkler and Dolenz. Okay? It actually came down to me and Henry, Mickey Dolenz recalls. We're good friends and still laugh about it. I remember when Henry first walked into the audition, he saw me and said, oh, crap, Mickey Dolenz is here. I'll never get it. But I'm so glad he did because he was a much better Fonz than I would have ever been. He is the Fonz. Dolenz, by the way, was in a 50s TV show called Circus Boy before he decided to study architecture, but then he changed course again when he was invited to audition for the Monkees. When I read the pilot script and went in for the first interview, I was thinking, it might be something special, he said. There were other shows about music at the time and a few other pilots I had been up for, but I remember telling everyone I knew I'd really hope I'd get this one. So think about this, how it all worked out. Mickey Dolenz could have been the Fonz. And
do you see it?
No, I don't.
Exactly.
At all.
Because of the little smirky smile.
Yeah,
the Fonz, I can't, with that. No.
No. Can't see it.
Walking over to the jukebox, punching it in and working.
Can't see it.
Let's go to my office.
Can't see it.
Sit on it. None of that, right?
Can't see it. Can't see it at all.
You know what I love about the Fonz? And I got to say, his first movie that he did with, of course, Ron Howard.
Was it Hero?
No. Shelley Long.
Oh, that was his first movie, Night Shift?
Yes.
Okay.
And totally not Fonzie.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, because he was like he was Howie Mandel.
They put mustard on my egg salad sandwich.
Yeah, he was like
here, man. Come put no. He'll spit on your
and just
totally
hot
meek and just no. Don't hurt me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Shelley Long, in those underwears in the kitchen scene.
Oh, the scene when she's making breakfast.
Yeah, that thing is.
Is it hot in here? And he's got the bread.
That thing is etched in my mind forever. I was like, wow, Shelley Long looks like that? Holy moly. She was all covered up in Cheers, so you never really saw her.
There is the one where she comes out of Sam's birthday cake, remember?
Yes.
And she's got the little bustier. Oh, man.
Yeah, she's
You know
smoked,
what?
Brendan,
She
today.
had those dancer, figure skater, thighs, and butt.
Oh, yeah. She.
That's those.
Shelley Long was
dated
a complete
couple
package.
ballerinas back in the day.
Shelley
man.
Long
Oh.
was a complete package, no doubt about it. All right, how about this? For those of you that are Madonna fans, her story is coming to the screen. Madonna has announced that she'll be directing an upcoming biopic based on her life to be co-written by Diablo Cody, who did Juno and Tully. I want to convey the incredible journey that life has taken me on as an artist, a musician, a dancer, a human being, trying to make her way in this world. Madonna said in a statement, the focus of this film will always be music. Music has kept me going and art has kept me alive. There are so many untold and inspiring stories, and who better to tell it than me? It's essential to share this roller coaster ride of my life with my voice and vision. It says no word yet on casting or title, but the film will be produced by industry vet Amy Pascal along with Madonna, and it'll be released by Universal Pictures. So who plays Madonna is the question. Who's the actress that can play Madonna? That's the interesting one. I kept thinking about this all morning when I saw this, and I'm going, she's got to have, the athleticism to dance, obviously. She should be able to sing, to play the part, or I guess you can fake it in a way, but at least you got to look the part, in other words. And then you got to kind of look like her, too, on top of all of that. So who would you pick that can act, dance, play the part? Sex, any woman can have sex, and Madonna had plenty of sex, so I'm sure, I don't know how much that'll be a part of all of this, right? Because that woman had some wild rides, all right? From Canseco to Rodman to Sean Penn, and you name it, man. She's had some wild rides. You know what I'm saying? So this is one that the thing is, how open will she be about her craziness? Because what we know about her publicly, can you imagine what's gone on behind the scenes? So who would you get to play Madonna? Can you think of somebody that fits the Madonna bill? Somebody that can play Madonna? Got to be an actress, too, remember.
You know who could have back in the day? Very easily.
No.
I'm just Bette Midler.
Dude, stay on subject. You always do this.
No, but
stay
she could
on
have.
subject.
She could have.
Okay? Stay on subject.
You might have to go to somebody Broadway, because they act, they can sing.
But
and also got to remember, man, Madonna actually, I think she was a dancer before so you got to be able to do all three. I think you may have to go Broadway, man.
Okay, but who? I mean,
I don't, dude. I'm not into the
like Troy Ortiz goes. Madonna's daughter looks like, yeah, but can she act? Can she dance? We don't even know. That's what I'm saying. It's I found it hard, man. I was thinking Pink. You put a wig on her, and because obviously her hair is always short.
Lady Gaga just
That's a great one. That's a great one, actually.
She just did a great job with reprising Barbra Streisand.
Yeah, but she doesn't look like Madonna. That's the only thing.
No, man, but they could do some stuff, man. I mean, Val Kilmer looked like Jim Morrison.
No, but Val Kilmer is a good-looking dude.
I see what you're saying.
Okay?
You're saying a whole lot without saying anything at all there. You know that.
I'm just saying I'm just saying what I'm saying. Okay? I'm just saying what I'm saying. But I love the selection. I don't know how you make her look like Madonna, because she doesn't look like Madonna. Okay? But it's
always pointing out why all of Lady Gaga's videos are quick snaps, no long looks.
Smoking body. I'm just saying she's not, not a looker.
Butterface.
That's all.
She's got a butterface.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying she's not a looker. That's all. Not a looker.
I'll say it.
Hey, you know what, Ray? You might be onto something. Miley Cyrus. That's pretty damn good, dude. That's pretty damn good.
That's
I think
actually...
Miley Cyrus could be the one that plays Madonna. I like that, dude. She can act. She can sing. She can dance. She has the looks of a Madonna. You make her hair and up,
yes,
and
yes, she can do it.
She might be able to do it. That's a really good one.
You know what's
Ray?
another thing? She's had a bunch of different looks.
Yeah.
Madonna always reinvented herself.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
So yeah, it would, within her wheelhouse, no problem. She does it.
Now I was thinking about, and again, she doesn't look like Madonna. She's not a bad-looking girl either, but she's not I was just thinking of Jennifer Gardner because of Alias. When I watched her on Alias, she had so many different looks on Alias. If anybody, you know what I'm talking about. And obviously Jennifer Garner's got a rocking body. Man, Miley Cyrus might be the best one.
Jennifer Garner's actually
Scarlett Johansson's not bad either. That's pretty good, man, of 1,005 holds. Scarlett Johansson, she has that Madonna look. She's got the body. She can act. You don't really have to sing, because you can kind of fake that. Madonna can do the singing in the movie for the character, since she's so in charge. You know what I mean? But Scarlett Johansson's not bad. Those of you that have sent in Scarlett Johansson, that's pretty good.
Speaking of Jennifer Gardner, I think she's actually gotten better looking as she's gotten older.
I think she's cute. I like Jennifer Gardner.
I think she's gotten better looking.
I don't call her beautiful, but I think she's cute. Now, body-wise, woo! Somebody put, there it is. Who knew Shelley Long had an ass like that? That's exactly what we all said. When you watch Night Shift, you're like, that's Shelley Long? Holy moly. Like, wow. It's like, because you never saw her that way. It's one of those deals. Let's see. What do we have here? Ian likes Scarlett Johansson, too. That's a good one. Kenneth Cleveland has Gwen Stefani. That's not bad. That's actually not a bad thing. She can sing. She can dance. She looks great. She has kind of a little bit of a she looks like she's taller than Madonna, because she looks like she's a tall girl. I'm not sure how tall she is, but she seems pretty tall. But that's a good one too, man. I like that one. You guys have come up with a couple good ones. That's pretty good. I like it. All right, 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the text line, that's 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the text line. How about this one? Rob Halford once tried to seduce an Iron Maiden singer. Yep. So for those of you that don't know anything about Judas Priest, Rob Halford came out like in 88 or 89, something like that, sometime in the late 80s. I forgot what it was, but it's one of those years. He came out and told everybody that he was gay. And, in the metal community, we were like, what, really? Whoa, we didn't see this coming. And it's really weird because as you then take inventory of your life and you watch him, how he dressed and all that, you then go back and go, yeah, now it explains it, So
you can connect the dots.
Yeah, because that's kind of where all the leather and all that came out of, is from his kind of lifestyle too. So Halford revealed once that he tried to seduce Paul Di'Anno of Iron Maiden. So the British Steel Tour was fraught with tension after Maiden singer Di'Anno announced that his band would blow Judas Priest off stage every night. So it would lead to the lead singer of the metal band coming close to being kicked off the establishment's group's road trip. So in the upcoming memoirs, Confess, the autobiography, Halford wrote, "We didn't really hang out and banter with Maiden much on the tour, but maybe I took Di'Anno's comments that he would blow Priest off stage too literally, because the one night we got drunk together, I tried to seduce him. We went to my room to carry on drinking, but I was too pissed to try anything, and he was too pissed to even know that I wanted to try, so I think that was definitely for the best." So in 2018, former Priest guitarist K.K. Downing recalled why he tried to have Maiden throw off the British Steel Tour. He said, "I read in a music paper that they said something like, yeah, we're going to blow the bullocks off Priest or something like that," he said. And I went, what the hell is this crap? Why should we have Iron Maiden on our tour if you're going to create this type of vibe before we even met them, let alone do a show together? Downing was outvoted by his bandmates, but later reflected, they didn't blow the bullocks off Judas Priest. We were pretty well established at the time, and those guys were coming up through the ranks. But it wasn't a good atmosphere on the tour, and it's not something I like to have happen. The guitarist did note that he met with Di'Anno many years later in about 95, and he said, "Hey, KK, we're sorry about that quote in the paper." And that's all you need to know. So interesting how, Rob Halford was still like in the closet at that moment, and Di'Anno did not know that he was going to, that Halford was going to make a move on Di'Anno. That is an interesting story right there. What else do we have here? The love story of all love stories is coming to an end. And let me tell you something. I've been married for 26 years now, okay? And maybe some of you out there have been married for a year, 5 years, 10, 40, 50. I just want you to know that I think all of our marriages are going to dissolve now. I think we're all going to end up getting a divorce, because if this couple is going to get a divorce, then there's no hope for love for anybody. That's right. I'm talking about Cardi B and Offset. That's right. Word spread now that Cardi B has filed for divorce from Offset, her husband of 3 years. The filing took place in an Atlanta courthouse after the Migos rapper reportedly was unfaithful yet again. What a shocker. Offset, unfaithful. Offset has pretty much cheated the entire time they've been together, but Cardi looked the other way because of the baby, an insider told the People. She also didn't want to be embarrassed, so she's had enough. It's not like Cardi B doesn't do enough things that she embarrasses herself anyways, but she just needs this. So for those of you, because I know that a lot of you thought that the Cardi B Offset marriage was going to be the marriage of all marriages. Now, I can see the Obamas divorcing now. I can see so many people's marriages dissolving, after Tom Hanks and Rita went through COVID. They're about to get a divorce now. Everybody will be divorcing now. Because if these two losers can't stay together, I would imagine nobody else can. I mean, that's a hell of a year for Offset, right? Because his whole group is cheating, not cheating. They're fighting against each other about money and now they're going to break up, right? And now, the couple hits that they had, which will be the only hits they will ever have in their lives. And, Offset will be broke in 5 years from now. It's like Soulja Boy. Soulja Boy gets a hit and he goes buys a plane now. Can Soulja Boy afford a taxi nowadays? I'm just wondering. Cardi B and Offset. Yep. Oh, and he wants, what's it called? He wants, what's it called? Damn it, what's that called?
He wants alimony payments?
No, he doesn't want alimony payments. He wants the kid, culture. He wants control of the kid. So now Cardi and Offset will be fighting on who gets the rights to the kid. Well, and that kid, it's what an upbringing, huh? I mean, those are two people that kid can be really proud of. Tell you, that's it. It's over for the rest of us. No, Offset cheated the entire time they were together. I mean, really? I would never believe that. Offset, a cheater? Come on. An entertainer, a rapper, a rock star, a singer, cheating? Nah. I don't think that's ever happened, right? Entertainers never cheat, right? They never, it's like athletes. They never cheat. Come on. Love it. And how about this? Did you see the people that were going through a Target? So a group of people went through a Target unmasked. And so they were screaming down the aisles, hey, take off your mask, and this is all lies, and this and that. And they were playing the song from Twisted Sister, We're Not Gonna Take It. So they were walking through a Target, and on their phone, one guy had We're Not Gonna Take It from Twisted Sister. So people were filming all of this, and of course, it went viral. Everybody's commenting on it. You got the non-maskers and the maskers, and everybody's taking their shots. So D. Snyder steps in, and he retweets that video and says, no, these selfish a-holes do not have my permission or my blessing to use my song for their moronic cause. Hashtag cut the shit.
Odell Beckham wants to know where it's going to be cut and if he could be under it.
If he could be under it. I love it. That is fantastic. So D. Snyder gets in on it. That is awesome. Like, no, guys. Hey, asswipes, don't be using my song for it. Do you remember the iconic picture of Biggie wearing the crown? This picture here, you remember that picture? Everybody knows the picture of Biggie wearing the gold crown, right?
Of course, unless you lived under a rock.
Right. Well, that plastic crown went up for auction, okay? So Biggie's plastic crown, which reportedly originally purchased for $6, okay? Let me repeat that again. A gold crown, that's plastic, purchased for $6, and he just put it on his head for a picture, sold for nearly $600,000 at Sotheby's auctions. Their first hip-hop auction, according to the New York Post. The plastic topper worn by Christopher Notorious B.I.G. Wallace in his last photo shoot sold for $594,750. During an auction on Tuesday night, the original price tag was $6. This is the crown novelty item that I bought at a place at a Broadway a store called Gordon's. Said Baron Claiborne, a 57-year-old photographer who lives in Brooklyn. Claiborne owned the crown and used it in the stunning Rap Pages magazine cover photo he took of Biggie in '97. Without Biggie, the crown would not be worth six figures. I only paid $6 for it. Some people have told me it's too low. Claiborne coolly stated ahead of the hammer coming down, that shows you how strong the symbol really is. I always thought Biggie was a king. Okay, Claiborne, by the way, also told the New York Post that Diddy originally scoffed at the idea of Big wearing the crown. He said it would make Biggie look like Burger King. Claiborne said, but Biggie didn't listen. He wore it anyway, and nobody ever told me that they looked at the photo and thought the crown is plastic. You can read. It's true. I never thought that the crown was plastic either. I thought it was kind of like a real crown, that they made.
Well, like them, rappers buying planes and this.
Right.
They would buy, a real crown.
Yeah, definitely.
And get as excited as Sheldon's girlfriend getting a tiara.
Dude, but you waste $6 on a crown and it goes for $600,000? How much does that photographer win?
So, what do you want to wear? What do you want to wear that will sell in about 15, 20 years from now and set up our retirement?
You won't get anything off of me that won't be worth any money. People will tell you, get that crap out of here. I don't want anything that Orlando wore touched. Get the hell out of here. Ian from Brooklyn chimes in with a little super chat. I love it when they call me Big Papa. I like it. There you go. Nice job by you, Ian from Brooklyn. Way to go. Big O, how about Anne Hathaway to play Madonna? She has the experience from doing Les Mis. I wouldn't know because I wouldn't watch Les Mis if you paid me. Okay? In fact, I went to the play and I left at the intermission. And luckily, my wife, she hated it too, so we both left. I've only stayed in plays that are fun. Like I stayed for Grease, that one I did. But I went to Cats and Les Mis, and I walked out at the intermission. There was no effing way I could stay through the whole thing. I told my wife, I said, if you want, I'll go take a cruise. You go and go back for intermission. She goes, no, I'm having a terrible time too. I hate it. It's boring. And I go, okay, great. So that's fine because the Cats are coming out into the audience and Les Mis was boring. I'm sorry. I could not watch that if you paid me. In fact, there's not enough money to pay me to watch it. And the play was brutal, dude. So I wouldn't know that. So, I guess I'll have to take your word for it.
I can remember going to a play that absolutely hated but had to stay because at the time, girlfriend, doing that test of the water, see, at that point in the relationship, are we good to go in this? I had a football game, it was Canes game, and, it was about seeing this thing. So we go, and within a half an hour, 45 minutes, she's like, let's go. And I'm like, oh, no. You called this. We're staying here the whole time.
No, you're terrible.
And well, you know what? You got me missing my Canes game, and it was a little test for the relation, that type of thing. You called this, and I will remind you anytime that you, in the future, want to pull up something. You remember that time we were over here at da-da-da, and you called? Yeah, we're not doing that, okay? Or pick another night.
Okay. All right. I get why you made her suffer. I get that. But then you put yourself through the same suffering.
No, you know what? Because I knew that I was not going to miss any more footballs or Heat games or no sporting event or a concert. I was good with it. You got to take one for the, for future benefits.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. How about this? I saw this story. Any of you out there like fishing? You like going out on a boat? All right.
Sometimes you like fishing, and you know what? Sometimes you hope they don't bother you, and you can just sit there and drink and be on the boat.
Well, I just want you to know that if you plan on going fishing in the Straits of Gibraltar, I want you to make sure you're careful, okay? Why? Because since late July, sailors have been reporting several encounters with orcas in the Straits of Gibraltar. One of them actually tipped a boat sideways and spun others in circles, leaving them rudderless. There is some speculation that the attack seemed orchestrated, but scientists don't know for sure, and the orcas have not made any statements yet. You know, they kind of struggle with it. So, apparently, killer whales apparently are taking pieces out of fiberglass rudders is going crazy now. Rocio Espada, who works with the Marine Biology Laboratory at the University of Seville, told The Observer, "I've seen these orcas grow from babies. I know their life stories. I've never seen or heard of attacks." The Observer reports that it's not unusual for the highly social and curious animals to follow or even interact with boats. But experts say it's unnatural for orcas to become aggressive, and it's unlikely, albeit not impossible, that the orcas were mounting deliberate attacks. One crew member told The Observer that the incident in July felt like a totally orchestrated attack. Orcas, the largest species of dolphins and sometimes referred to as toothed whales, think squares and rectangles. All squares and dolphins are rectangles and whales, but not all rectangles are squares. So commonly called the killer whale, orcas are generally about 23 to 32 feet long and can weigh up to 6 tons, according to the National Geographic. Traveling in pods, the carnivores live an average of 50 to 80 years in the wild and are considered low-risk extinction categories, at least concerned. But orcas are still captured by whalers and in some regions sold for consumption of captivity, while others get caught in fishing nets and gear in areas with high boat traffic. Toxic waste, increased underwater noise pollution, and higher risk of collisions are all threats to these sea mammals. So now you've got some of them. It says if we're talking about whether killer whales have the wherewithal and the capacity to intentionally strike out at someone or be angry or really know what they are doing, I have to say the answer is yes. They are likely defending a territory or resources, Lori Marino says, neuroscientist and president of the Whale Sanctuary Project. So there you go. So if you happen to be, sailing around in the Straits of Gibraltar, watch out. They've got whales attacking boats.
I could see it, man. You've seen them with seals.
What do they do? Watch a lot of Jaws and said, well, I can do that too.
Well, no, it isn't. Man, they are. You see the way they get the seal out on the ice.
No, I know.
And they like tip it over, and then they throw them in the air and play with them. And man, they do hunt in packs. Whales, dolphins, super smart, man. I wouldn't put it past them.
That's like scary stuff, dude. All right.
I wouldn't put it. You know what? You hear about what's going on with the ice melting and how it's affecting the polar bears. I'm sure that what's going on in their environment is changing. They may be pissed off, man.
Yeah.
I don't put it past them.
Anthony says, Orlando, by chance, do you know the exact dates for the deaths of both Richie Valens and the original lead singer of Bon Scott? I don't. But you can Google that, dude. You can Wikipedia in like 1 second. Let's see. I can do it right here. Richie Valens, since you're kind of lazy and you don't want to do it.
Well, that's with the Big Bopper. The day the music died.
February 3rd, 1959. There you go. February 3rd, right? And Bon Scott died. Let's do this here for this gentleman because he's kind of lazy and doesn't want to do it. February 19th. So February 3rd and February 19th. 1980, by the way. Not the same date. So Anthony Manzano, since you were a little too lazy to do something that takes you 5 seconds, we did it for you, and we did the work for you, okay? And we gave you the answer. But next time on your phone, they've got Wikipedia also. And all you got to do is put on the name, and it'll come out, man. It's magical. It's called Google.com, and Anthony, it can really find a lot of things.
What is this thing?
It's called Google.
It's not Jeeves or Ask or...
No, Ask Jeeves. No, we don't want you to ask Jeeves anymore. Jeeves is retired. You know, he went to the big retirement in the sky, and he's gone. Now it's Google. And so Google will answer most of your questions, Anthony. And you won't have to, ask a host to actually do your work for you. That's all. Okay?
You're not doing anything but a show right now.
Super Boom Shack, were the attacks orchestrated. Nice! I like that. I like it. Very good. Orchestrated. I like it. That is too good right there, man. That is too good.
Remember seeing that movie, man, at the $1.50 movie theater, and the big thing was Bo Derek.
Oh.
Being in Orca.
Yeah. And we all swell like Orca when she's around. Anyway, we got to wrap it up here on the program. We got to thank, first of all, our super chatters. Myron, man of 1,005 holds. Alexa V, the president. Kenneth Cleveland, 4 times today. You're amazing. Myron did it twice today. Cody Douglas did it twice. Julius 305 did it twice. Gus 1388, thank you. Ian from Brooklyn, all of you out there super chatting. Appreciate you all of you out there chatting and listening to the show. Super chat.
No way.
Yes way. No way. Yes way.
They were fantastic.
Super chat. Thank you all out there, as always, for your amazing support.
Just for number 2s and giggles.
Yes.
I'm going to say the magic word.
What's that?
Meeting.
Yes.
Meeting.
Yes.
He has aspirations of leaving this place, driving down the Gables, and attending a meeting.
Yes.
Imagine people.
Yes. Meetings. Meeting and driving a lot. Anyway, so we thank you all out there. Appreciate you all. You all be safe. Wear your mask. Save a life. Thank you for downloading the show, viewing all of that. Appreciate all of you for helping us get to 2 million downloads. That is an absolutely wicked, wicked number. We will see you guys tomorrow at Toyota of Hollywood. All right, we'll be out there starting at 11 a.m. You all be good. You all be safe. Much love.
See you tomorrow. You let them off easy.